since I've done a big screaming intro to the Rage Select podcast, and so that's what I'm doing. We've come to the point of the Rage Select podcast where I'm just going to start describing what I'm doing. I'm Jeff. I'm sitting in a chair.
And I'm Jim. I mean, Mike. Sorry about that.
They won't know unless they watch. Well, I guess, did we get there in part 2? I think we got there in part 2.
We got there at the end of part 2.
Into part 2. You guys got to go watch Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. It's fucking amazing. It was great.
But yeah, that was a force of habit.
If you're not a patron, you kind of want to be. You should definitely want to find out about what's the deal with the bucket.
Yes. What's the deal with the bucket? My new Lord and Savior. Yeah. The bucket.
Yep. Michael, it's a weird week. It's one of them weeks where it's like there is no theme to what we have. There is no conference.
Okay.
There's no like really big news story this week.
Really? That's actually surprising.
I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a lot of like little stuff. So, and I've also tried. I tried as hard as I could this week to cut. I cut like 20% of the stories that I had. I was just like, no. Nobody needs to know that Sonic 2 is the biggest grossing video game movie of all time or whatever.
It is beating up everybody, which is nice.
So, yeah.
It's a good movie.
But, but we do have news. We have plenty of news. And, but before we get to the news, I was trying to think, spent 15 minutes last week talking about the Batman. So I thought that we would change it up this week. I would
buy it. Sorry.
I would talking about something that I like. I kind of wish there was some point where somebody was like, it's the Bat. I think we talked about that on our Shadow Warrior.
I'm a big fan of that stupid line from all those games.
Yeah. So I want to talk about something I really like this week because last week the Batman may have released, but Better Call Saul came back. And you know what? Like, Better Call Saul is ruining the grade curve for me for everything because
that's fair. It's a really good show from what I hear.
There's a lot of Better Call Saul that's just like, I don't know, some fucking Arizona trash lawyers doing some shit. But it's all like filmed and told in such a way that I'm like, why can't I take my eyes off this Arizona? Why is Bob Odenkirk like the most compelling? I'm watching an Apple TV show with Gary Oldman, and yet Bob Odenkirk is just snatching. And then the guy that plays Mike,
I forgot the actor's name.
All he does is stand around and go, nope. I'm not going to do that. And I'm just like, oh my God, this is quality television I'm watching right now. Have you ever watched Better Call Saul?
No.
Did you watch Breaking Bad?
No. Well, I wanted to. Well, it's a long story as to why I never did.
Okay.
It's a long journey that involves me having to work all the time.
Yeah.
And then living with my parents in a room without a door with a 5-year-old.
Okay.
Or a 3 or 4-year-old running around. So it was impossible to watch Breaking Bad without them walking in on it.
Okay.
And something horribly may be happening on the screen. So I was like, I can't watch this piece, so I'm just not going to.
Sure.
And by the time I had that ability, Breaking Bad was over, and it had already had a bunch of seasons, and I didn't have time anymore. And I was like, and then Better Call Saul happened, and then I was like, oh fuck, and then I definitely didn't have time.
I think Better Call Saul has like more seasons than Breaking Bad now, because I think it's like season 6 of Better Call Saul. Yeah, there were only 5.
Breaking Bad's 5 seasons, yeah.
Breaking Bad, but man, Better Call Saul is good. It's so goddamn good, and like it's
I have
hard.
one friend specifically who will not stop talking about it.
Yeah,
you've met him, Nate.
Oh yeah,
Nate. Yeah, Nate will not stop talking about it.
Dude, I love it.
Every person we know, he's like, are you going to watch the show?
Yeah.
He watched the show to the point where they're like, I'm not going to watch it purely because you won't fucking leave me alone.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like really, 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 really good. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of
really lucky though.
There's a lot of good TV on. Why is that?
Because Bob Odenkirk almost died in the middle of filming that season.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
He was this close. If you listen to his interview on the Howard Stern show, he's like, I was going to die if it wasn't for like 2 specific people that were there. Yeah, I was going to die.
No, but it's so good. It's so worth watching. I'm so glad on Black Friday, I would keep talking about this because I want people to keep it in their mind. Black Friday, a bunch of the streaming services had like Black Friday deals.
Oh, okay.
And AMC Plus had a deal where it was $23 for a year of AMC Plus.
Ooh.
And I'm not really watching anything else on AMC Plus.
I'm not a fan of the walk-in whatever.
Well, I mean, it's like there's been some other stuff on there. They've got that Kevin Can Go Fuck Himself show.
Oh, that is a show that's on
There's some other stuff that's on there, but I mostly got it because I'm like, I know Better Call Saul's going to be on here, and I'm going to want to watch that. And for $23, like I couldn't even buy that shit on Amazon for $23.
No.
Like
It's like 30 or something, right?
yeah. So, but yeah, that's it's incredible. There's a lot. I had to make a list last week of all the shit to watch that was on.
You have
TV.
a lot of stuff now.
There's a lot of stuff, and like
Once you finish Elden Ring, your time is back.
that's true. Yeah, when Elden Ring was happening, and it was just like there's like 3. But the thing is that I can't get wasted and play Elden Ring. Like I can get wasted and play those other games because I knew how to play them because I played them so many times.
Yeah.
But I was playing Elden Ring for the first time, and it's not like I can play that when I'm wasted. The other thing that I want to say is that like if anybody is looking for a really just fucking great time. I've only watched 2 episodes of Spy X Family, but it's amazing because this is a story of like the world's greatest super spy who has to like catch this guy, but the only way that he can catch this guy, this guy's a recluse, and the only time that he comes out is at his daughter's private school. So the super spy needs a daughter. This is an anime, by the way. Everybody should get
Yes, it's an anime, yes.
So Super Spy needs a daughter, and he goes to the orphanage to get him a daughter, to pretend to be his daughter. And the little gremlin that he gets is like a refugee from a Resident Evil science lab who's telepathic, so she can read his spy mind, but she's like playing along because she doesn't want to go back to the orphanage. And then like in the second episode, so at the end of the first episode, this is, I mean, you know, it's fucking
It's
that
the
first
first two,
episode. The little girl, it's like she's gonna get into the school, and then they're like, great. Now the last part is that we have to have an interview with you and your daughter and your wife. And he's like, fuck, I need a wife. And so in the second episode, we get introduced to the third member of the family, who is this master assassin lady who's also just a complete like social idiot. So like she lies to her work friends about having a boyfriend because they're teasing her about it, and then she like runs into the spy, and he's like, well, she's not married, she doesn't have any family, and because he's memorized like all the women in the town.
Oh, okay.
He like pulls out of his spy memory like her, and then he's like and then he like asks her, she like says, hey, will you go to this party with me and pretend to be my boyfriend? And he's like, yes, I will, if you will come to the school and pretend to be my wife. And she's like, okay. And then like at the end of the second episode, he's just all this shit happens, and he shows up to this party like bloody and fucked up, and he's like, I got in a car accident, because they're all like making fun of this lady, and then they're like running away, and then at the end he proposes to her, and it's like it's adorable. It's a great show.
It's kind of amazing. I do love that idea quite a bit.
And I love the fact that the little girl, it's like she can always read their minds, and she's just like, because she reads like the potential mom's mind, and the mom is like, oh, he's got a daughter, he's probably married, I don't want some crazy wife to come kill me. And so she's like reading her mind, and then she's in the middle of this clothing store. She just walks out, she's like, I'm so sad that I don't have a mother because my mother died when I was so young. And everybody just looks at her.
I love that. I love comedy, Japanese comedy animes, because they get so over the top, but they're so much fun because of it.
Yeah. I mean, I'm watching some other ones, but so far, like everybody's talking about Spy X Family, and Spy X Family is great. So if you have Crunchyroll,
a unique idea.
yeah, it's also got a lot of like good action in it as well, because you know, this lady's like the world's greatest super assassin, and the spy is like a fucking super spy, and there's all this like, you know, shooting people and getting blown up and shit. Like,
Nice.
it's pretty good.
That's a good selling point, actually.
Yep. How about you? What have you been watching?
Well, Superman and Lois came back this week.
Sure.
And it's a world building episode, as well as moving the plot along. So I know I've mentioned it before, but Bizarro's part of the new season, and so they go to Bizarro World.
Okay.
And that's all I will say about it, other than the fact that they did my favorite thing ever, which is they made sure it was a cube.
Right. Yeah.
And so I was super happy about that. I won't say anything other than that because it's a great fucking episode.
Okay.
It's like last season. It's a series of flashbacks of what's happened on that world, which I really love. I loved about that in the last season, where it explained all of Superman stuff.
Right.
Where this explains all of Bizarro stuff. And I was like, I love every bit of this, and I want more of it. So I'm very happy that it's back.
I need to get on that show. I haven't gotten to it yet.
It's a lot of hiatuses because of the COVID.
Yeah.
Because they have a hard time filming. So there's supposed to be another long hiatus after this. So
You know, it's like that. You keep telling me to watch Barry. There's like Young Justices out there. I haven't even touched Russian Doll season 2. I liked Russian Doll season 1.
Season 2's not bad. It's not as good as the first season.
They
it's not
got
bad.
like 2 episodes of behind on that Slow Horses show on Apple TV that I really like. And you know, there's like a whole soccer anime that I really want to get into, but I haven't even watched the first episode. I was like, last week, I was like, well, this is the one about the waifus that play golf, and this is the one about the shonen kids that play soccer. And like, what do I want? Soccer or golf? Soccer or golf? Soccer or golf? And I watched the golf one, and it was pretty good. But
that's good. But yeah, Barry also came back as well because again, COVID fucked up their schedule too because they were supposed to film in March of 2020.
Yeah,
that's when everything happened.
I'm wondering if I might actually go because Doctor Strange is getting ready to come out. Yes. And like of all the current Marvel stuff, like that's the first one since like Endgame that I would actually be willing to go to a movie theater to see. Well,
that's surprising.
I haven't been a big fan of Spider-Man. Like they had 2 Spider-Man movies, and I'm not the biggest fan of Marvel's Spider-Man. Black Widow wasn't really in this kind of, and like Eternals. Nobody was ever able to explain why I should even care about Eternals.
Oh no, one ever will. There's this great joke story from HardDrive.net where it's like future MC movie just says that all of the Eternals died in a car crash off screen.
Yeah. So this is like the first. This is the first, and Shang-Chi, which,
Shang-Chi.
I mean, Shang-Chi probably would have been the closest, but again, I feel like they've done like a truly bad job recently of explaining like why I need to go watch Marvel movies. It also doesn't hurt or help that like they're like, go to the movie theater to see this new show and then make sure that you watch all the other shows when you're at home. Like it's not like if I stay home from the movie theater that there ain't a shitload of Marvel for me to watch on my television and or DC or whatever. Like
there's so Doctor Strange's TV spots keep spoiling stuff apparently.
Oh, I haven't.
And I was watching Superman and Lois, and one of them came on, and all it did was confirm a rumor.
Yeah,
and so I was kind of annoyed only because it confirmed it, and I was like, well, fuck.
And I'm so glad I finally broke down and bought YouTube Premium. So I don't get the ads anymore.
It's the only thing I get ads on because I have to use the CW app to watch Superman and Lois because there's no other way for me to watch it.
Isn't it on HBO Max?
Not the new stuff.
Oh,
only the first season's on there, and I own the first season on Blu-ray, so it doesn't really matter.
Oh, okay.
So the season 2
they were simulcasting it there.
No, they're simulcasting out on the CW app.
Boo.
And then whenever it's done, they usually throw it on HBO Max. So
fuck you, CW. You don't need an app. Like, oh my God, everybody does it. I pay like $80 a month now in fucking streaming services, and I really need to cancel some of them, but I don't know which one I want to. Honestly, it's funny because when I think about it, Michael, and I like really do the math in my head, you know which one I want to get rid of? Netflix.
Honestly, yeah.
Like
if I had been paying for Netflix, because I'm not. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's the only reason I still have it is I don't pay for it.
It's just not as much on there as I want to. I mean, like,
well, they keep canceling everything.
Yeah, and I would like to maybe. It was like, okay, well, I'll maybe go back when JoJo's season 6 part 2 comes, but it's one of those things where it's like, man, I could just like get a privacy.com card and buy 1 month and then like cancel after a month.
I'm feeling like that with Tiger and Bunny. That was the only other reason I watched it. That and again Russian Doll.
I mean, I was watching I went back and watched some Deep Space Nine on there, but then like I wanted to watch a TNG episode, but all that's on Paramount Plus. Like only DS9 is on net.
Doesn't make any sense.
Anyway, enough of this.
But Barry season 3 is good.
Yep,
just can tell you guys that.
Okay,
that's all I will say about it because if I mentioned anything that actually is happening in it, it spoils all of season 2.
Good.
So I will not say anything.
Good. If you're gonna do that, don't do it on my podcast because I've watched 1 episode of Barry. So
watch it. It's short. Like they're all 8-episode season, guys. It doesn't take barely an afternoon for that season.
We'll see how it goes. All right. The news looms. It should tell you something that we're kicking off this week with. I don't know. This is kind of the biggest news out there this week. Diablo Immortal got a release date and also is coming to PC. So this is a little strange.
Isn't this the
you guys have phones, right?
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Isn't this the you have phones game?
Yes, it is. So oh God, where's the thing? Okay, fine. Fuck it. I'll use the trailer like you wanted me to. So what is it? June 2nd. So June 2nd, Diablo Immortal is coming out, but it's not just coming out on phones. It's also coming to the PC, which in a lot of ways seems like it is going to kind of defeat the whole purpose.
Oh, it completely defeats the purpose.
Like, well, okay.
We heard you, guy who made fun of us during the Q&A.
Right.
It's a PC game now. What?
Well, okay, so Blizzard put out they put out like a little press release where they talked about it, and they said that they feel like if they didn't put it out on PC, that people would use Android like emulator apps to play it on the PC, and they would have a worse time because it would be janky because it wasn't optimized for the PC. So they decided to optimize a PC version. But then I look at this trailer, Michael, and like this game looks like it would be really impressive if I was playing it on my phone, but it does not look even remotely better than Diablo 3 at 1080p in a YouTube window.
No, this would have looked amazing 10 years ago.
Right. Like Diablo 3 still looks really good, and this looks more like Raid Shadow Legends. Like, I
Which
mean,
isn't bad for a phone, like you said.
Right, yeah.
But once you throw that on a console, then you got some issues.
Yeah. Also, like all the UI and stuff kind of looks like it's optimized for for phones.
What absolutely is.
And stuff. So like
them saying that makes very little sense because that's probably a very small contingency of people.
Right.
This is them just being like, we need money.
That's kind of what I feel like, because I feel like, okay, stick with me here. I bet that this tracks, right? Tell me if this tracks or if I'm a crazy person. So I think that what they expected was for Diablo 4 to be further along than it is. Like if COVID didn't happen, because the Don't You Have Phones thing, I believe, was 2018.
It was a good while
like,
ago,
2020,
actually.
2019, something like that.
Quite some time ago.
So like, I think that what they expected was for this to come out and then like satiate the Diablo fan base for like a year, and then Diablo 4 would have come out. Because like, I mean, I've seen what Diablo 4 looks like. We've seen footage and we've seen characters and we've seen stuff from Diablo 4. And like,
in November 2018, BlizzCon.
Yeah.
That's when they announced it.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, Michael, but like Diablo 4 looks good, but it doesn't look the sort of game that would take like 9 years to make, right? Like,
no, it's obvious that they're having issues with everything that's going on Blizzard Activision, whether it's all of the stuff with the people who want to do unions, whether it's COVID, whether it's sexual harassment stuff, whether it's people just fucking leaving.
Diablo 3 was 2012.
There's so many things going on at that place that nothing is really coming out.
Yeah.
And this is probably, they're like, well, it's done. What if we just like added some PC controls to it real quick?
Right.
Because we need the money right now. Because like Overwatch 2's beta just came out.
Yeah.
And that's a beta.
But that's still a long way away.
And it's still a long way away.
Yeah.
They need something now.
Yeah.
And they're hemorrhaging WoW players still, apparently.
Oh, to Final Fantasy 14. Yeah.
So, apparently they're still consistently hemorrhaging them. So they need any kind of win, even if that win is clearly a desperate fucking move.
And I mean, they didn't even make this game, though, right? This was made by like a Chinese company. It was outsourced to a Chinese company.
It was outsourced. So they probably, like I said, they probably just added some PC controls to it.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, this will get us some quick cash because people want new Diablo.
Right.
And they'll take anything right now. We'll get them suckers. So yeah, I think that's what's happening.
It's just a real fucking shame, man, because it's like, I don't know, it used to be like Blizzard, that was the mark of quality, and now they've really gone downhill over the last 4 or 5 years.
Well, I feel it's even longer than that. Like just one day, and it feels like it was almost overnight.
Yeah.
Which is the weirdest part about it, because you think something like that would be more gradual. And then just one day we were just like, man, fuck Blizzard. Just all of a sudden.
When was the last time there was a Hearthstone expansion?
It was quite some time ago.
Anyway.
I don't even remember how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And Overwatch was the last game everybody loved from them. After that, it was all downhill from there.
I don't know. Heroes of the Storm had an okay run. Like, it didn't stick around, but it was
true,
okay.
But that was still around the same time, though.
Yeah. It was kind of like Overwatch and Heroes of the Storm and Hearthstone were all kind of like the golden children at the same time.
Yeah, and then after that, it's just kept going downhill more and more.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, at the end of the day, I look at this trailer and it's just like, yeah, that's Diablo 3 on a cell phone.
That looks fine, yeah.
Diablo 3 was 10 years ago. And like
on a phone, that looks amazing.
Way past. Yeah, man, if that was on a tiny screen, fuck yeah, it would look great. just doesn't look great on my 4K monitor. So,
it's like when you buy the DS game that gets re-released on a console.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
why does this look like this? Because it was designed to be on a tiny screen.
Or, yeah, sometimes they put out Steam games that are like a PC port, like a phone port.
Yeah, exactly. There's plenty of those on the Steam right now.
Yeah, and they do not look great.
Nope.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if it manages to do well. In other networking news, and other online multiplayer news, Ubisoft is shutting down the online multiplayer services for 90 of its older games.
How else will I use the Uplay features, Jeff? How else will I use them?
Well, you're not gonna. I kind of put this front and center because I really just wanted to say, guys, remember this. Whenever you go to put real money, Michael, whenever you go to make a transaction in Avengers, remember that eventually they just turn this shit off and you're fucked.
Pretty much, yeah. It happened to me with the Marvel Heroes many years ago.
So, yeah, the games, I mean, they're all over the place. It's Assassin's Creed 2, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, that Avatar game they put out, you know, Call of Juarez, Far Cry 2, Far Cry Blood Dragon, Hawks. You remember Hawks 1 and 2?
I don't think
Tom
a lot of
Clancy's
people
HAWX, the airplane game that they put out.
Oh my God, Jeff! Look at all the Just Dances they're going to shut down.
So many Just Dances.
Oh my God!
Just Dance 3, Just Dance 3 Greatest Hits, Just Dance 3 Kids, Just Dance 4, Just Dance 2014, 15, 16, 17, 18.
Thousands of Wii players just got sad.
Just Dance Disney Party, Just Dance Disney Party 2, Marvel Avengers Battle for Earth.
I forgot that was a game. That's a Wii fighting game that was terrible.
Prince of Persia Forgotten Sands, Rainbow Six Vegas, Rainbow Six Vegas 2.
Okay, that's disappointing, actually.
Rainbow Six Lockdown, Rayman 3 HD, Rayman Legends, Rayman Origins.
Really?
Yeah.
Some of these are kind of surprising.
Shaun
actually.
White snowboarding, y'all. Splinter Cell Blacklist, Chaos Theory Conviction, and Double Agent.
Basically all of them. All the ones that have multiplayer in some way.
Tom Clancy's End War.
Yeah, this is just a series of random ass ones, and some of them are pretty America's Army.
Yes.
But some of them are actually games that people really do still play.
Yeah.
So well, that's surprising on some of these.
Now, for some of these, the unlockable content, is just going to be fully unlocked. That's
wait,
what they're
hold on a
doing.
second. Scroll down to the Rainbow Six ones real quick.
Where?
Because I just noticed something on the right side of it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, no, those are actually the ones. Because I was looking at the Assassin's Creed ones.
Yeah.
And they're all the on live versions.
Oh, on live. Yeah.
So it's On Live. That's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
Who the hell is still playing on Live?
I don't even think you can play on Live. We're shutting down the service for a system that I don't even think works anymore.
So, yeah, I mean, this is one of those things to look into. I mean, it's not a big deal, right? But it's unlockable content on the PC will no longer be available, even if it's been redeemed previously. So,
oh shit,
that's a thing. On
all
console,
those Ezio outfits, Jeff.
It'll be available unless you reset your save game files. So if you delete your save game, then you don't get the unlockable content anymore.
Okay, so you can't do a new game.
Yeah, and all this is happening in this happened last week. So
so this has all happened already.
Yeah, if you didn't get to it, you ain't getting to it. So
Ozymandias shit. I already did it 2 weeks ago. Fuckers.
Yeah. So yeah, that's disappointing.
It is actually.
I really wish that,
especially for the Rainbow Six Vegas games, because those games were fantastic multiplayer wise.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good games. Rayman Origins is fucking incredible. That's a great game. But yeah, I think that it's just worth, whenever anything like this happens, pointing it out to remember that be careful about this shit because it goes away.
Yeah.
So, in other Ubisoft news, apparently the sharks are circling.
Finally.
Yes.
I knew this was going to happen one of these days.
Yes. There's a bunch of private equity firms that are kind of eyeballing Ubisoft as a big gaming acquisition. It's not actually it's not like a Nintendo or a Microsoft thing, because you should be so fucking lucky, Ubisoft.
They should. Yeah.
But apparently the names in question right now are Blackstone Incorporated and KKR and Company.
Are we sure they're not pirates?
They sound like Assassin's Creed pirates.
The Templars, Jeff.
Yeah,
they're clearly Templars coming for the Ubisoft Assassin's Creed people.
Yeah, I don't know what
they'll show you, and they stab them to death.
I don't even know what this. I can't even tell what some of this
What
stuff
they
is.
do, yeah.
They're equity firms, right? They're just, they're not like, they don't do anything. They buy stuff. So,
And then they gut the shit out of it.
hopefully. I mean, here's the thing. Like, part of the story for this was on Kotaku where they talked about this different stuff, was that like, I don't know if y'all know this, but Ubisoft is in a really kind of bad position right now.
They're in a super bad position.
Like,
they have a game that's never gonna come see the light of day at the moment, but they can't. But they have to. They can't say it isn't because they owe the government of Taiwan money for it.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Beyond Good and Evil 2 that has been MIA for like 5 or 6 years, where they were badgered for a decade to announce it, and then they announced it, and then they just like showed a really early alpha tech demo, and then like those two got fucking shoved off the stage, and yeah,
that is actually a good point. No one has said anything about it since they announced it.
Yep. Far Cry, Ghost Recon, and then some of the bigger Assassin's Creed games are all like way further. They're just like way early in development right now. Like they've just got a bunch of stuff that's kind of like this weird multiplayer focused thing. Like I don't even know what the hell is going on with their weird Tom Clancy Overwatch game where it's like the
I forgot about that
hero shooter. And then there's like a Ghost Recon Battle Royale. They were trying to make a Ghost Recon PUBG game.
That's true. They were.
It hasn't seen the light of day. They keep announcing stuff. Like we had this weird announcement that they were going to make a sequel to Phoenix Rising.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was which I was actually pretty happy about.
But then they also have this problem where people keep quitting. Like they're losing talent in a lot of cases.
Oh, 100%. They're hemorrhaging people for good reason.
Yeah.
And they're still trying to keep all of these franchises alive. Like they're still making Assassin's Creed comics kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's paying for these things.
So it's interesting because remember that in 2018 the Guillemot family actually fended off a buyout from
I remember that, yeah.
Vivendi at the time.
That was the whole thing, I remember.
And it was like this thing where Yves was out there as just like, hey, help us stay independent because we're the good guys. Don't let us get snapped up by this big corporate machine. And then like, what was it, like a month ago where they had that conference where they were like, yes, we're not looking to get acquired. And then, like, Yves jumps onto the phone. He's like, or maybe we are. I mean, I don't know. Like, nobody's offered yet.
Do
So
you have $1 bajillion?
maybe give me a call. We can talk about it.
I want a fucking Scrooge McDuck swimming money right now.
Like, you know what? I would be fine if just somebody could take Ubisoft over and like do an assessment of the assets they have and be like, we're canceling 60% of these games. We're going to make the other 40% within 2 years. And like, we're going to stop making every fucking game into an online multiplayer shooter. Like, you guys have Rainbow Six Siege. Do you remember what came out at the beginning of this year, Michael?
No.
Rainbow Six Extraction.
Oh, that's right.
Their Left 4 Dead clone.
I forgot that was a
anybody
thing.
still playing that game?
I
Like,
completely forgot about it.
is that a good sign, do you think?
No.
Like,
I'm still bummed that they canceled Rainbow Six Patriots to this day.
Yeah, I mean, there's Siege and Extraction, and they've got the Division, and then they've got the what's the other one? They've got Ghost Recon. They just shut down the updates on Ghost Recon. They did the NFT thing with Ghost Recon, and they shut that shit down. Ubisoft is a fucking mess. They had that thing with, remember the cell phone hero game where they used all the like Black Lives Matter imagery?
It was a bad time.
And it didn't look, and it was like, oh, it turns out the governments of the world have taken over all the protest groups and made them into terrorists. And everybody was like, read the room, you guys. Like,
they made that announcement, like, because I understand the idea that they maybe made that prior to all that.
Yeah.
But the issue is that they still were like, no, that makes sense. Let's release that right in the middle of all this.
Yeah.
Bunch of dumb motherfuckers.
Get your shit together, Ubisoft. It's a bad day when even Square Enix has its shit together better than you. Not by much, but they do have their shit
Well, they
together.
don't have a bajillion allegations against them.
Well, yeah. Then there's that whole thing that didn't even get, where it's like where every time, it's like every so often I get the story, it's like, it's been 24 months since allegations of problems inside of Ubisoft came out. And so we went and called a bunch of Ubisoft employees and said, hey, how are things now? And they're like, the same. Nothing has changed.
Nothing's changed.
They fired like 3 people, and they were just like, we're cleaning up our act. We're putting a message from the CEO at the beginning of our E3 show. Right? You guys trust us now, right? And like,
so stupid.
Yep.
So stupid.
So, speaking of stupid corporate bullshit, Raven Software is managing. Actually, this is not stupid bullshit. Speaking of sticking it to the man, Raven Software, the QA folks at Raven Software are going to go through with their union vote. So
good for them.
Last time they were going with NLRB, which is the National Labor Relations Board or whatever.
Yeah.
They had there's 29 or no, there's 25 of them, right? Or somewhere with those. Yes, 21 people that were basically getting together to unionize. And one of the last times that we heard about this was Activision Blizzard wanted to force them to make the entire studio vote on whether they were able to unionize or not.
Yeah, which is like 200 plus people.
Right. It was an extra 230 people. Apparently the NLRB is allowing them to just go through with the 20 people because they're like, these 20 people are trying to unionize.
Yeah.
Activision Blizzard is not your best friend. They put out a statement,
nope,
basically saying that they're going to. Let's see. While we respect the NLRB process, we are disappointed that a decision that could significantly impact the future of our entire studio will be made by fewer than 10% of our employees. We believe a direct relationship with team members is the best path to achieving individual and company goals. We're reviewing legal options regarding a potential appeal. I have absolutely no sympathy whatsoever for companies because they've been chiseling away benefits and reducing pay and upping the hours and just being general shits for years. And they finally pushed it to the point where they broke it. And then it's like, okay, well, we have nothing left to lose. We're going to unionize. And they're like, no. We're all family here, right? And it's like, no, stop. They put out this statement, Michael, and I want you to tell me. I want you to put on your greediest corporate cat. I want you to put on their monocle and a big top hat and light a cigar with a big stack of hundreds and tell me how 20 QA employees unionizing could affect the entire studio of Activision Blizzard.
Well, the main issue for them, and I don't mean this as I agree with the crazy fat cats, is the fact that they're gonna be like, well, we want equal pay for everything.
Yep.
Which is gonna cause the rest of the employees to be like, well, wait a minute. They're gonna look at their own pay.
Yep.
And then they're also gonna want to think about that.
Yep.
And it could just spiral into more unions.
Yep.
And they don't want that.
Yeah, but that's not a good reason. That's a stupid reason.
No, it's a corporate reason.
Yeah. No, if these guys manage to successfully unionize, it will show the rest of our employees that we abuse all the time that they could also unionize and maybe make more money and get better results. Can you imagine if Call of Duty Warzone is 3 weeks away and the QA department strikes in order to get better money?
What if we did another pizza party, Jeff? That'll solve all the problems. We'll get the extra toppings this time. That'll satisfy them. But it's only going to be from Little Caesars because we don't have a lot of money.
We got 3 bottles. The thing is that
we got 3 bottles of Coke. We got Diet. We got Pepsi. We got the store brand orange soda because we don't have money.
Yep. The thing is that I would feel
don't pay attention to my Lamborghini in the parking lot.
I would feel worse for these companies if I didn't know how much fucking money Activision makes.
They make so much money.
Remember? This is why I feel like sometimes I need a shirt that just says, remember all that shit that Jeff said? Remember 4 months ago when we were recording of this podcast and I was like, do you know what the number 1 and 2 best-selling games right now are? Number 1 is last year's Call of Duty game, and number 2 is the year before's Call of Duty game.
Which is fucking crazy.
6 months after they came out. You cannot tell me that there isn't money to give QA people a raise.
There's always money in the banana stand.
That's always money in the banana stand. Yeah. So I have no sympathy. Absolutely not.
I have zero sympathy for everything that's going on with that fucking company.
Yeah. As far as I'm concerned, it's oh no. But then again, I've always said, I don't fucking care about Call of Duty, and I don't even really like Call of Duty very much anymore. So it's oh no, you guys, are you going to shut down Activision, the company that made every single studio that they own work on Call of Duty Warzone.
I remember when Raven fucking made up Marvel games.
Yeah.
And they made some really good Marvel games back in the day.
I remember when Activision used to put out other games. It was like a year ago.
Yeah. It wasn't even that long
Tony
ago.
Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2 HD was a great remaster.
Crash 4.
Crash 4.
What if you guys just made Call of Duty stuff? It's like,
Oh, I do want to
No.
be. Do you want to be sad? Do you want to be sad?
yeah.
Okay. So I've been trying. This is a story. We're jumping way later in the podcast. I'm still trying to fucking figure out what the hell this Godzilla versus Kong Operation Monarch thing is in Call of Duty.
Trying to figure it out
I cannot figure out what it is. But I was looking at the page where they announced it because it started the day before we recorded this, and like one of the bullet points was, do you remember the gulag in Warzone?
Yeah.
Where like if you die, you get to go in and you combat with somebody else, and then if you win, you can go back into the map. And they were like, the new gulag in Operation Monarch, made by Toys for Bob. And I was like, you made that glorious fucking studio, you put them to work to make the thing that happens when you die in a Call of Duty game. Like, I'm even mad that they're having to make Call of Duty games, but you didn't even like let them make like a Spyro skin for Godzilla when he comes out or whatever. Like, you made them make the gulag. Like, that should be intern work, motherfuckers.
So
like,
stupid.
Like, goddamn.
Every studio is just Call of Duty now.
Yeah. And then we just got done talking about what's going on with Blizzard. So it's like, hey, man, oh no, Activision Blizzard isn't making as much money anymore. Oh, no, you mean the phone game and the Battle Royale games aren't going to get updated? Oh, no.
This is the only reason I'm fine with the Microsoft acquisition, because maybe Phil Spencer would be like, why is everyone making Call of Duty games?
We just get like 10%.
It's like, we just bought this entire library worth of shit, so yes, we're going to use them. I'm hoping that's the outcome I'm hoping for.
Go make a new Soldier of Fortune game. It's time.
Make games. You're free now.
Yeah. In other interesting corporate news, this is a
But not really.
very strange story, Michael. GOG is going to be the first studio / digital store / gaming operation to let their employees have menstrual leave. So
Well, that's actually kind of neat.
apparently this is going to be like basically just like kind of an additional time off that is offered to people with periods to like stay home if they need to when they're having that time. So
That's actually really nice of them.
yeah. I feel like I can feel on the horizon like the objection of just like, why do they get to stay home and all? Well, I gotta come into the office and I don't even have a uterus. Like, but
All you
know.
gotta do is even it out. Just be like, you get football time off, I guess. I don't know. What is it that you guys do? You want to go watch football? Here you go.
Yeah.
You get to stay home.
I just thought it was interesting because I've never, I don't think I've ever had a chance on the Rage Select podcast or maybe even on Rage Select in general to ever say the word menstruation. So,
Unless it involved bears.
yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, that's kind of the long and short of it. It's it is currently like experimental. Right? It's not like a fully implemented thing. It's something that they're trying out. So
It's worth a shot.
let's see whether it happens.
Because that is a nice thing to offer.
Yep. Let's see another nice news for workers. The QA department at BioWare is unionizing
Oh, no.
or attempting to unionize.
Good for them.
The two biggest reasons, okay, bad pay and COVID shit. And okay, listen, I know that like when I saw a meme the other day that was like, it's really hard these days because half your friends are like, it's like it's March of 2020 and the other half are having Coachella at the bar every weekend and like I just don't know what to do about COVID. But like
That's 100% how a lot of people feel.
apparently at BioWare, they told the QA staff that they all have to come back into the office, but not the programmers or the developers or the artists. They are all still allowed to work
What
from
the
home,
fuck?
but they were just like, you QA pukes need to get the fuck back in here because I don't know. Like well, apparently the people, the other people in the office are like they can come to work if they want to, or they can choose to work from home. But QA needs to show the fuck up. It's like, again, could you guys read the room a little bit here? Like,
Yeah, that's a terrible fucking... You put that on yourselves at that point.
yeah. Also, apparently, this is in Canada, and apparently they are they're also paying him like $13 an hour or something like that. Like something.
They're paying him how much?
It's like $13 an hour.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, 16-15 Canadian dollars, which is under $13 US an hour. And they're like,
no, fuck all that.
We found out how much the full-time employees make, and we're like, I like the fact that it's like, you know, because the funny thing, Michael, is that QA testing for video games, I feel like is something that it's really hard to get scabs for, because like it's not the sort of thing that you just pull any asshole off the street and be like, quality my assurance, Jim.
It's a lot harder nowadays because the mystique of Q&A no longer exists.
Right.
Because
everybody knows it's horrible.
Yeah, because there was there was an entire YouTube show called The Tester where whoever won became a Q&A tester. And I remember the Super Best Friends at the time, you know those guys.
Yeah.
A lot of them had been QA testers before they did YouTube stuff. And they're like, why would anyone want to do a contest to win a terrible job?
Yeah.
And then people started paying attention. They're like, wait, what do QA people actually do? And now the world knows QA testing sucks.
Like
unless you're like a 19-year-old who needs like some pocket change.
You know, it is above working at GameStop, but not that far above working at GameStop. Yeah. Like the thing is that the working conditions are technically better than like retail or food service or things like that. But guys, as somebody who used to work in QA, if you've never worked in QA before, first off, it sucks. Second, there's like it's long and repetitive, and it's not, you don't play games, you test games. And then when the crunch happens, you have to be there. Like you don't get to fucking go home when the crunch happens. But then the other thing that I was never able to, I don't know that I've ever seen anybody in any of these articles talk about, is like, I don't know how it is other places, but where I worked, QA got treated like dog shit. Like,
oh, that's the story all the time.
Like I would go to a developer and be like, this is broken. And they would be like, get the fuck out of my office. Like they literally say that to your face. Like, don't come in here. Or like there was one programmer, and I don't know if they had like a weird, you know, they were on the spectrum or something like that. This guy wouldn't look at me. Like I go into his office to be like, hey, hey Jim, when is this going to be fixed? And he wouldn't look at me, and he wouldn't answer me, and he wouldn't turn around. Like he refused to acknowledge my existence as a human being, which is fucked up. Like that's just not how this should work. And like I'm not saying it's that bad at BioWare, but what I am saying is that they did make all the QA come in and like let everybody else work from home. And
that's a good example of that the double standard. They're treated like, I don't want to say second class citizens, but that's kind of what it is.
Yeah,
it's a lot of like, well, you're the grunt, so you don't need to really have any of these things.
Right.
And it's like, well, what's the point of hiring people? Because they, in their minds, they can still do the thing where they can just get any old guy off the street. Hey, you want to play video games?
But you can't.
But you can't anymore.
You can't.
That hasn't been a thing in a long time for these companies. So, yeah, and the only way you can is like contract work, and contract workers, even they don't want to deal with that shit anymore.
Well, contract workers have an organization behind them that is able to negotiate on their behalf.
Exactly.
Like you can't fuck over contract workers because they'll just quit and get another contract. And then like, yeah, I like the fact, I'm like, you know, it's somewhat irritating if things get delayed or whatever, but like I kind of like the fact that we've come to this point where it's like, there's a Chipotle around the corner from me, and apparently like it was like a month ago where they just like locked the door at 6 o'clock in the evening, and like 20 people just walked out the door and just quit. And it was like, because I feel like we finally gotten to this point where people are like, everybody's like, you're interchangeable, and it's like, yeah, but we're not all interchangeable.
Yeah.
Like if 5 people quit Taco Bell is closed. Like there's not enough. You can't run Taco Bell with like one person.
You can, but it'll be terrible.
I went to there's a Domino's down the street that when we get pizzas from.
Yeah, you told me about that.
Yeah, there was a day that I went in there and there was one guy running the entire Domino's. And like I put in an online order and I went down there to pick it up, and it was like, oh, your estimated time is 1 hour and 5 minutes. And I was like, what? It's like 12 minutes usually to get a pizza from Domino's. And this guy was just fucking pizza. It was crazy. So I
We're at a turning point in people's visions. I was reading a news story where a lot of people they also only want to work for places that align with their sense of morals. I feel like I mentioned this at one point somewhere. Yep. But then so people aren't even taking any old job anymore.
Yep.
So yeah, fuck you guys.
Yeah. No, it's good.
Not the people, I mean the company.
Well, because you know what? Hey, man, if you're trying to hit gold, like if you're in crunch, can you imagine what it'd be like if a fucking studio, if like BioWare, right, that is notoriously known for this horrible crunch time, if you got to the crunch where you spent like 3 years in development and now you've got like 6 weeks to get a functional version of the game in for like testing, and QA was just like, we're working 8 hours a day. Like, you can fire all of us, but the people that you hire on, how are you going to do an interview for somebody where you're like, okay, so here's the deal. You're going to start tomorrow. You're going to work 18-hour days, 7 days a week, and you're never going to fucking see your family, and we're going to pay you $13 an hour. They'd be like, no.
Yeah. They'd be like, no. Like, why would anyone want to do that?
Right.
And yeah, the QA team could all just be like, well, we're just all going to go then.
And then, like, can you imagine in the run to like production? Like when the testers that are there have been following bugs and tracking the progress, and like they know the internal, like the tribal knowledge in the company of like what a problem is, what areas of the game have the worst problems, and they've never fucking written it down or told anybody about it, and it's just like, okay, good luck. You're gonna have 8 months worth of like getting going with this team before they're able to do anything. So
it's gonna be glorious.
I hope they do it, and I hope that they manage to succeed. Let's see. In other news, I had a whole bunch of transitions, and then my brain just has forgotten all of them. So, speaking of things that will make more work for people, PlayStation Plus's new premium tier that they're rolling out apparently is going to like require 2-hour trials for any game that is $34 or more. So,
which is kind of amazing.
Yeah.
Because it's something people have been asking about for a very long time.
Yes. So, yeah, apparently, like, the developers are going to have, what was it? They said they're going to have, like, I don't know, like a few months after release. Let's see. Trial versions will be required to be at least 2 hours long if a game's just $34 or more. And they're going to give developers up to 3 months after the game's launch to provide that trial. So it's not going to be something that they have to provide like day and date beforehand. Yeah. But like, 2 hours is usually longer than a demo, and most places don't even fucking do demos anymore.
That's the thing. That's why I'm so happy about this idea.
Yeah.
Because there's plenty of people out there, they're like, oh, I want to try this game, but the only way to try games now is to buy them outside of GameFly and maybe a couple of places that might still have rentals in some form of... But they're so rare now.
I am a fan of Steam's return policy. I think I returned Postal 4 twice.
Which is great. Well, Steam is really good about that. So, yeah, a 2-hour time for... Because all they have to do is just add something that will kind of have a timer to it. Because there are games that have already done stuff like that. Where they just download the whole game, but there's like a clock on it.
Yep.
And then all they have to do is remove the part of the clock. The
Xbox, right? Or,
yes.
The EA Play or whatever would give you like a 2-hour trial.
Exactly. So they could just ask EA, hey, how did you guys do this? And then they'll just add whatever the fuck they're doing there.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too difficult depending on the studio.
It would be really nice if Sony provided that tool. Like if Sony gave these developers the infrastructure to be like, do you not have the time to develop a custom? Because there's some games where it's like
easier that way. Yeah.
There's a lot of games that don't really do anything for 2 hours, where you would want that time to be more in the middle of the game, like at a better representative experience than like, here's level 1 where you beat on rats for an hour, and then the second hour is your level 3. Like, good job, everybody. Good job. Or like the number of JRPGs that you and I have played where you don't get to play the game for like 2.5 hours, right?
For quite some time, yeah. A lot of world building.
So it would be nice if Sony was able to give them, because I don't really mind that much with the full studio stuff, but with that particular price point of $34, there are a lot of $40 games that are small studios that have like 8 people that aren't going to have the time to do specific cutout slices of their game. So I agree with you that it's a good feature. I mean, I think that I love demos more than, Plus, this just means that I can buy that premium and then just do 2 1-hour videos and never have to buy a game again. Just kidding.
Technically, that's true.
Just kidding.
We could actually do something like that, but every YouTuber probably has that idea.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm excited to see how these things play out. Although I do know they announced that I don't even think they announced it, where you can't stack PlayStation Plus subscriptions right now.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Which is a shame.
Well, yeah, but you will get to find out.
But I got to do it already, so it doesn't matter. I have like 2 years up to it.
June 13th. We got dates for the updated services when they're going to launch.
Yep.
So,
and I'm pretty excited to see what's on there because we don't even know what's on the list of stuff on there yet.
Yep.
So whatever that comes out, that will make or break this for a lot of people.
It's strange though because apparently the service is going to be it's just Asian territories May 23rd, and then Japan on June 1st, and then America's on June 13th, and Europe on June 22nd. I'm like, what is this generic Asian countries launch that's the first launch?
I think they're trying to test what they can and can't do in China.
Oh, yeah.
China's the Winnie the Pooh game okay? Is that fine?
No.
Okay.
No. Nope. Yeah, it's going to be really interesting. We've got another month, and we'll finally get to see what this is like. I desperately... Michael, I'm really trying not to get my hopes up that there's going to be a lot of cool PS2 games that I want to play on there.
I hope there's a lot of cool stuff on there. The unfortunate news is that it can vary because a lot of things I really liked back in the day were licensed games.
Yeah,
and that's not really easy to do.
Here's an interesting factoid. Transformers War for Cybertron that Matt and I are playing as our new sequential Saturday that started yesterday is not available on Steam. Okay, it was released on the PC, the PS3, the Xbox 360, the Xbox One, and the PS4. It is not available to purchase on Steam, and you cannot purchase it through any of those methods on the consoles. It is an Activision game. But what you can do, I do not know how the fuck this works. It's got to be some licensing bullshit. Is you can buy it, and I spent $50 American on a fucking 8-year-old video game off of Amazon, and Amazon will then provide you with a Steam code.
Oh, so they still have the keys.
They have the keys. They can generate infinity keys, but you have to buy it off of Amazon directly from Activision. And then once you have it, you can play it on Steam, but you can't buy it from Steam. It's
I wonder
not
if that
on the
works
Steam
for
store.
some of the superhero games that got delisted too.
Maybe.
I have to look into that. I'm just curious about that. I don't have a good enough PC to run a lot of things, but that's the issue with a lot of those games is they come out and then they're like, oh, I love this game. And they're like, that's great. We got to delist it because our agreement with Marvel or Hasbro or whatever is no longer a thing.
Right.
So sucks to be you. I hope you bought the DLC before all this stuff happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It was really strange. It was just a very strange experience. Let's see, another PlayStation news. This week we got an update to variable refresh rate for the PS5. I don't know if you know about this, but...
I vaguely know about it when I was buying my TV. My brother was asking if I wanted that, and I was like, I don't know what any of this means, so he had to explain it to me.
Yeah. So variable refresh rate works on HDMI 2.1, and it basically is a synchronization technology that runs through HDMI that will help to keep frame rates from dropping and VSync turned on and have less droppage in the HDMI signal. So it generally just tends to make things better overall. But it does require a TV with a very specific port on it.
Okay.
And it requires that support in the game. It's not across the board.
Yes.
You can turn it on for other games, but if you turn it on for a game that doesn't have the direct support for that, it might actually cause problems with that game. So
yeah.
But it is turned on, and you can use it. They have a list of the current games that are going to get patches for VR support.
Oh, look at that.
Astro's Playroom, Call of Duty Vanguard, Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, Deathloop, Destiny 2, Devil May Cry 5, Dirt 5, Godfall, Michael's favorite game of all time.
Fucking Godfall.
Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered, Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales, which you should not play again until you finish Elden Ring. I see the look in your eyes. I can see inside of your brain.
I don't know if I even have variable for refresh on my thing.
You do.
I forgot.
Ratchet, Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege, and Tribes of Midgard.
Yeah, this is a weird fucking list.
Oh, Ubisoft, never change. I'm just kidding. Change right now. Change immediately
change.
while I'm watching. Yeah. So yeah, that's already here. So keep an eye out. Something to, I don't know, maybe like if you have a good TV, if you bought your TV over the last few years, like maybe pull it up on the website and see if it has this technology, because a lot of times some TVs will have it on like one specific HDMI port.
Yeah.
So like make sure you're not plugged into HDMI 3 so that you can actually use it instead of just like, just switch it out.
I can't remember if I decided on it or not. That's the thing, because I bought that TV so long ago.
Yeah.
And it was before I even owned the PS5. So
I don't know. I'm kind of all PC right now. I'm kind of sticking to my PC guns.
Have a fancy PC now, so of course you are now.
That's right.
Before that, you weren't.
Big ass 4K monitor.
Yeah.
Man, Weed Shop 3 looks amazing.
I'm amazed how much you play that game.
I'm still playing it.
Are you serious?
I am.
Oh my god.
Yesterday I spent a long time to make enough money to expand my shop, and now it's doing even better.
Oh jeez.
I know. It's bad. Speaking of bad, Sony and Microsoft are apparently trying. I feel like I say this story once every year.
It comes up a lot, actually.
Once or twice a year. So this is according to a source at Business Insider. Sony and Microsoft are both looking to partner. They're currently testing with ad tech partners to insert ads into free-to-play games and find other ways to monetize stuff. There's some information here that says that like they want to do that thing that's been around since fucking Burnout Paradise, or the Matrix Online, where they put billboards in a game that have actual ads on them for actual things that you can buy.
Oh, that happened forever.
Yeah.
I remember this. Okay, I remember when the Incredible Hulk MCU game came out.
Yep.
There were ads for Righteous Killings or something. It was that Al Pacino, Robert De Niro
Righteous
movie.
Kill.
Righteous Kill.
Yeah.
And the reason I remember this distinctly is that me and my friend had a running gag that every time we saw one of those billboards, we yelled out Pacino as loud as we could and punched it. Every fucking time.
Pacino.
Exactly. And then in Rainbow Six Vegas 2, there were posters for Harold and Kumar 2.
Oh.
In the game.
Okay.
And they patched both of those things out as they did. And I was like, huh. That was the first time I'd ever noticed them.
Yeah.
Because they were actual like name brand things that were like movies and stuff.
Right.
And so it's like, whenever these come up, I'm like, well, yeah, you can do that, and as long as it's not super intrusive, most people don't even care. But if it's like, what was that NBA game? That was like, let's do like literal commercials while you're loading.
Yes.
Like, that's fucking ridiculous. So that's what people are worried about.
Yeah. Well, plus it's, right now they, some of the scuttlebutt here says that they're kind of like trying to keep it to the menus, like before you get into the game. But then there's also some question about, let's be really honest here. They talked about having players watch an ad and then get an item in game because they watched an ad.
Phone games do that now, so that's probably why they think they can do it now.
Yes. Let's be 100% clear here. They will never stop trying to do this.
No, never.
They will never stop trying to do this. Look at the number of ads on YouTube videos where they finally managed to get me to fucking give them, it's like $20 a month to be like, I'm sick of what, like, the problem
like 3
is
ads in a 10-minute video.
Or the problem is not even like, it's the fact that YouTube wants to make longer videos. And so I'm watching these videos from content creators that are 50 minutes long in the background. And they've got like 12 ad breaks in them. I'm like, that's too fucking many ad breaks.
And
like,
the ads will like be like, oh, here's a 3-minute one.
Yeah.
Because you're in the middle of working on something.
Yeah.
And you don't even notice that it's played a minute and a half worth of this long fucking
or
ad.
here's a 2-minute Google one that can't be skipped.
Yeah.
Like, just can't skip it.
Insane shit like that, guys.
Yeah. So, and it doesn't matter that the ads don't work anymore. That we've all built up a lot of psychological armor to most ads
because
they've
to them.
shoved them in our face for so long that I'm just like, I will never buy anything Dr. Squatch makes because the ads make me madder than anything that they could say. I will never shave my balls, Manscaped. I could grow. It's possible that I could grow my hair back with Keeps. I will not. Because you fucking advertise to me in every goddamn video. I'm sick of it, you motherfuckers.
Every fucking time.
So yeah, this could happen, but if they actually implement it in any real way in a non-free to play game, there will be a lot of making fun of to the point where they all get embarrassed and they stop doing it. I mean, also, like, you know,
That happens every time, though.
where the fuck are you going to put an ad in Elden Ring? Like, where are you going to put an ad in Elden Ring that isn't slimy as fuck, right?
I immediately thought something stupid, which is that, you know, a lot of people know about this on the internet, the chariots. They go back and forth.
Yeah.
Like the back of it just has an ad on it.
A bumper sticker?
Yeah, it's got like a bumper sticker on it. It's like, watch the new Doctor Strange movie, just on the back of it. Or an enemy pops up and just yells some shit.
Oh boy, we're behind the curve today.
2-for-1 dominoes attack, and then they attack you. Like, what the fuck?
Let's see. We had a report a few weeks back about that Sony was getting taken to court for a gender discrimination lawsuit.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Which has already been almost all the way dismissed. It's been mostly dismissed from federal court.
Okay.
So there were. This is. You all should go read all this stuff if you really want to know the specifics. But like, there were. What was it, like 12. There were 12 like motions, 13 complaints brought against PlayStation, and the court acknowledges that all but 3 had merit, and then under state law had merit. Anyway, basically what happened here was like, this isn't even like a Sony was exonerated thing. It was like the person that brought the charges didn't do a good enough job in explaining to the court why they would be law-breaking offenses, like with enough specific details. And so the court,
anything's
like
federal related too.
Yeah, just like dismissed that. And I don't even believe that they did it with prejudice. So that means that they can always basically redo it if they want.
It's basically like it's the hey, you gave us your argument, and it was like, well, it just doesn't hold up to us, and if not, you can always come back and try to make it make sense to us. You can appeal their decision.
Yeah, and there's also state stuff in there. So now it's going to be moving into California court, which will probably be a lot more favorable for what they're trying to do,
especially with what they're doing with Activision right now.
Yes. Yeah, this is a very interesting thing. I don't want to like. I don't want to like. In this Kotaku article, it says like, in reaching this decision, the court says that the former PlayStation employee failed in most cases to explain their allegations, with the finding stating in one instance that the plaintiff merely recited the elements of the claim and did not allege any specific facts, and another that the claims were not plausibly pled. So it sounds like
evidence is really what it comes down to.
Yeah, it kind of it sounds like the sort of thing where like there might have been something going on, but the person came in and was just like, X person did Y, and they were like, okay, where's the recording? Where's the email chain, right? Like, you have to show us evidence. We can't just take your word for it.
Yeah, when you just recite what the claim is, then that's just like, well, that's not telling us what happened.
Right.
You're just saying things.
Yeah. So
and hoping that we say yes.
We'll see if this manages to go anywhere. And
I hope
you know
it
what?
does go somewhere, though.
The last one, is we have an update in the Kim Kardashian Roblox scandal.
The what?
Oh, were you not on when I talked about this?
I don't think I was.
Okay, Michael. Oh boy, I don't know if I've got time to tell. Okay, I will do it. We'll get through this real fast. So, on an episode of Keeping Up with the Kardashians, there was a part where one of the little baby Kardashians, I don't really know, I don't watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians, ran up to Kim Kardashian with the tablet that had Roblox on it and showed it to Kim, and she looks at it, and apparently it was this quote unquote experience, is what Roblox calls these, an experience, one of the things that people can make, and it was like the Kim Kardashian crying face, like tiled a whole bunch, and then it was like a little walkway thing that you go into, and then at the end it was like, click here for Kim Kardashian's new sex tape. And so on the show,
holy shit, that's amazing.
The kid shows this to Kim Kardashian. She shows her sister or one of the other Kardashians. I don't know if they're related or what.
Yeah, the other Kardashians are her sister or something.
And then she is crying, and she says they're going to sue Roblox and that it's a problem, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
This is amazing.
So that was the story. That was the first story. Kim Kardashian's going to sue Roblox for being mean and letting people
put that on television is my favorite part.
Yes. Apparently, this is from a PC Gamer article. The Keeping Up with the Kardashians subreddit did a little bit of sleuthing on this. and are pretty convinced that this was some fake shit that some producer opened up on their Roblox account and handed to this child and then said, you should look at this and then show it to your mom. Because first off, apparently first off, this episode aired in 2014 but was recorded in September of 2021. So
yeah, it's like
this,
what?
it was a long time ago. But then there's also this whole thing where they tried uploading things that had the word sex tape spelled in a variety of different ways, and like Roblox's servers were like, no.
Yeah, there's no way it would stay that way.
You can't type that into Roblox.
Roblox is stupid, but it's not dumb.
Yeah. So yeah, a lot of people are kind of saying like there's a little bit more to it than this, where it's just like, also they talk about how the idea of making this experience, like Roblox has gajillions of users.
Yeah.
Like making shit all day, every day. And so the idea that in August, when they were taping the Kardashians, the baby Kardashian, whatever their name is, like managed to find this specific thing that was a thing about the mom while they were taping in the house is just like statistically speaking low.
It's incredibly difficult,
like
especially with how their system works.
Yes,
there's no way anything. Yeah, it's staged. Of course, it's staged also because it's on television.
Right.
If it was an actual thing,
yes,
that they wanted to sue about, that was they could prove very easily.
Yes,
they would have just done it right then and there.
Then we would have had a news story that was like, Kim Kardashian is suing the Roblox Corporation.
And the video would have been evidence.
Right.
It would have been like, hey, here's the thing that happened.
Yes.
We never aired it because we knew we were going to sue you.
Yep.
But once you aired it, it's like, well, this is clearly fake.
Yeah, you don't normally like put shit on TV that you're going to take to court.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
But on the other hand, reality TV is fake as fuck. We all know this, right? Everybody knows this? This is news to anybody,
I didn't even
right?
know
like,
the Kardashians was still on. I thought that shit got canceled already.
No, man. It started back up this month.
Man, no one gives a fuck about those people anymore, which I'm happy about. No one gives a fuck about them again.
No, it's why I keep Hulu, because the Kardashians are on Hulu.
Christ almighty.
At Kardashians Hulu is the tag.
Just end already. No one gives a fuck about you people
New
anymore.
home, next levels, new episodes, Thursdays on Hulu.
Fucking hell.
I think it's a Hulu specific thing, right? Because Hulu is a desperate, thirsty bitch.
That's true.
They need whatever.
Hulu takes whatever they can get.
Like, they have all those Blumhouse movies, those Blumhouse horror movies that are mostly bad, apparently.
The majority of them are, yeah.
All right. In another this is a second for Rage Select. We're going to end on a Kim Kardashian note. We're going to go, Michael and I are going to go check on the Kardashians and keep up with them and see what's going on. But we'll be back in a minute with more news. And Michael, if you thought we were done talking about Roblox, you are sadly mistaken.
We're going to talk about Legos now?
No, we're still talking about Roblox.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because last week we had a group called Truth in Advertising, a nonprofit organization, filed a complaint with the FTC against Roblox last week.
What was the complaint about?
Well, apparently, you know how when you're selling shit to people, you're supposed to make it clear that you're selling shit to people, like when you get a
like
sponsored
sex tapes and stuff.
Instagram post, like you're not supposed to just be like, "Oh man, fucking Twix bars. Man, I've been eating so many Twix bars and my dick is huge now. My doctor said that I can punch through a wall with all the Twix that I've been eating.
Power Twix, guys.
And then you find out that like Twix gave me like $100 to say that dumb shit. And it's like you have to declare that you're being paid by Twix. Yes.
That is very much a thing.
Yes.
Very many YouTubers got in trouble for that very early on.
And apparently Roblox does not have like any real way to designate like advertainment, I believe is what they call it.
Okay.
Like, you know, if Mattel puts out a Hot Wheels game on Roblox and it's mainly there to sell Hot Wheels, they have to like declare that shit, and apparently they are not really declaring that shit. Additionally, apparently they're just like what was that you know that thing, there was a Parks and Rec episode where it's like somebody just goes and they talk about how much they love a product to just other people in public, where they're just like, oh man, Swordmaster swords, they're the best when I want to slay a dragon. I've been using these Swordmaster swords, I'm just getting like XP like a motherfucker. Like, again, you have to declare that you are a fucking ad.
Yeah.
Like, you can't just do that shit without saying, I am an advertisement. I am paid by Swordmaster for every sword
It is
that I
highly
sell.
illegal.
Yeah. Well, apparently all that shit's going on in Roblox because Roblox sucks. It is a hellscape that is basically making children into laborers and then, exploiting them for cash. So, yeah. I think we found out last week, the thing I want to keep everybody reminded of, Roblox has like a content filter on it.
Does it really?
That is turned off by default.
Oh, jeez.
Like when you make a new account.
I didn't realize that.
So, yeah. I feel like we are 6 months from like a serious Roblox reckoning, a Robloxening, that's trademarked Jeff from Rage Select.
Well, yeah, because Roblox...
Bloxgate, I also got that one trademarked.
Yeah, because Roblox is that... It's like the... What's a good way of putting it? It's like Club Penguin.
Yeah.
It started off as a very innocent idea.
Yeah.
And then a bunch of older people were like, how can I fuck with this thing? And then... But the only difference is that... there's so many more ways to fuck with Roblox than there ever was any of those other games.
Yes,
like
indeed.
Toontown and all that stuff. And the fact that Roblox has not been paying attention to it all just means that they didn't care about that sort of idea to begin with.
Yep.
They just wanted something that would make them money, and it's making them tons of money.
And like, I feel up until about, I don't know, 4 or 5 months ago, like the occasional Roblox story would kind of come across my radar. But like, you know, I like literally watched some like independent documentary shit on YouTube that it's just like, yeah, I think they've just been sailing under the radar, but what they've got is this huge fucking platform where they've got all these kids that are making games to sell to their friends, but then like you have to get up to a certain dollar amount before you can literally cash out of Roblox. Otherwise, you can only spend that money internally on Roblox things, which then gives that money back to Roblox. Like,
and these kids don't know any better.
Yeah,
they really don't.
Yes,
and it's been so under the radar that I thought it was a joke. I thought Roblox was a small thing that some YouTubers did some stuff with. I didn't realize it was a huge platform until more and more stories kept coming out, because everybody pays attention to, you know, the Minecrafts and the WoWs and all that stuff. And because Roblox, even when you look at Roblox, it doesn't look all that special from the outside.
It looks like garbage.
Exactly.
It's shitty looking. It's like bad Legos.
So no one ever pays
Kmart brand
attention
Legos.
to it.
Yeah.
And then, especially if it's a game version of it, they're like, well, it's just, what's the harm in it? Not really paying attention to what's going on in it.
Yep.
Realize, like, it's like a 4chan somehow became a game system.
Yeah.
Or a game place, but no one was paying attention, and it became too late.
It's like it's like Second Life for children.
Yes.
And like we all saw what happened with Second Life,
which doesn't even exist anymore, by the way.
Yeah. So yeah, keep your eye out and don't let your kids. I don't know if anybody who listens to this show has children, but if they do, I wouldn't let them on the Roblox, or at least I
don't
would
let your
like
grandma on Roblox, guys.
I would at least I would at the very least keep an eye on what your kids are doing on Roblox. Like,
just ask Kim Kardashian about that.
Yes, don't let your kids get in trouble with Kim Kardashian. You don't want the wrath of the Kardashians.
Nope.
Which I think that's the last season. That's what they've got for the final season is the wrath of the Kardashians, where they all get guns and go out and start shooting people on the street.
Is that not the name of a Star Trek episode?
The Wrath of the Kardashians. One of my favorite things of all time is that fucking drawing that somebody made that's keeping up with the Kardashians, and it's like Kim and Khloe as Kardashians in the armor with the little spoon heads.
It's pretty great.
It's
yeah.
great. It's great. Okay, from there, let's switch from one controversy to another, because this week,
I actually heard about this.
It's time to remaster. It's time to revisit the dumpster fire that is Twitch.tv, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep.
Like, how can one company be run so badly, Michael? It's almost like running a site that lets people live stream whatever the fuck they want 24 hours a day was a bad idea.
It seemed like a good idea on paper. People love hot tubs.
But did it? I've really turned a corner with all the, I'm not getting into it, but like the stuff that's happening in politics and stuff right now, where I'm just like, you know what? I really miss the days when I didn't have to listen to every fucking Yahoo with a camera, like when there wasn't just like, hey, everybody's opinion matters. And I'm like, no, that is not true. I value like 30 people's opinions, and the rest of you guys can all kind of fuck off.
Yeah, my YouTube recommendations are full of just people being like, gasp, somebody did this thing, and it's got like their surprised face about like Spider-Man is actually Peter Parker or some stupid shit.
Right.
That's like they're just regurgitating information they read on Wikipedia or something.
Yeah.
And then they live stream it and hope that everybody loves them, and it's just frustrating.
It's like we're gonna let every human being on the planet just do whatever they want to in video form, and then it's like bad things happened, Pikachu face, and it's like right, like have you met people? Like, this is like the assumption of Twitch is that like everybody was well behaved and cool and shit, and they're like some chick fucking wearing a revealing top, and it's like, yes. What did you think was going to happen?
People don't play Artifact.
Right. They're putting pornography in the Artifact channel.
This is exactly what would happen.
So, yes, Twitch is talking about decreasing their partnered streamers' revenue, subscription cuts from 70% to 50%.
Christ almighty.
Yep. These are like the biggest streamers, right? Partnered streamers are like the biggest ones.
Yeah.
So we're talking like, Pokemon and Amaranth and Hassan and shit like that.
What used to be Ninja.
Names that just come through. It is kind of an interesting time to be doing this shit because, right, like Mixer is gone. Facebook Live is a dumpster fire.
YouTube, I think, is the only thing that kind of is competing with them currently.
But like YouTube doesn't even have like... YouTube doesn't really give as much of a shit because it's a secondary business for them. So like...
That's the only thing.
Less robust tools than what Twitch has.
I know some Twitch streamers were kind of exiled to it.
Yeah.
Dr. Disrespect is a good example of that.
That's true.
But he kind of put that on himself.
Apparently, they're also talking about putting more ads on.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so more ads,
But
less
what if those
money.
ads have copyrighted music, Jeff?
Oh my god.
Then they're double fucked.
This is my favorite thing of all time. The fucking Square Enix conference last year was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
My favorite was that like not all of them had generic music.
Yep.
There was that entire montage of all of our games, and it was just like ambient sound.
Yep.
So it
was horrible.
It was so funny. It was like that Mummy trailer they came out with on accident, where there was no music, but it was just all the sound effects. Or it wasn't even the sound effects; it was just the people yelling.
There's also a new like tier system that they want to roll out. That basically just like really determines exactly how much money they get or don't get, and the whole thing is stupid.
Oh, it's 100% stupid.
But
I saw a lot of Twitch streamers on Twitch, or not Twitch, on Twitter, talking about how much this will fuck people who like rely on smaller donations.
Yeah,
because some people's entire fan base are younger people who can maybe give out $5 every now and then, and so they rely on like the stacking of $5 basically.
Right.
But if they're only getting 50% of $5 instead of 70% of $5,
yeah,
that's a huge hit to them because they're already only getting a small amount to begin with.
It's also, to me, not entirely clear what it is that Twitch needs this money for.
Like, hold off all the copyrighted music, Jeff. What did I say?
The background infrastructure of Twitch appears to have been broken for 10 years now. So
also, these are all proposals, by the way. These all haven't happened yet.
Yes, that is true. That is true.
But it's not going to happen now.
Yeah, because
of the implication.
Yes. It sounds like something bad is going to happen to these Twitch streamers, Michael.
They're not in any danger. You're certainly not in any danger.
So there is danger. That's what you're telling me. I do have a Twitch TV account. I was up until I think it was like last year I was doing my taxes, and like the last time I streamed, I never made any bones. I never told people I was going to keep streaming, but like at the beginning of the pandemic, I actually did a week where I was just streaming because we were all very freaked out about COVID, right? And I was like, all right. So I played all of Resident Evil 3. I played Final Fantasy 7. I played the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. And I played it all solo, Jeff in the bottom corner, like a fucking real grown-up Twitch stream with the camera and everything. And a bunch of people like subbed, right? And then, like, for the next year and a half, I haven't Twitch strum. I haven't strummed at all. But the subscriptions keep giving me money.
Oh, geez.
But then Twitch only pays out when that reaches $100. But because I'm not keeping up with it, there's no new influx. So last year I got paid $100 from Twitch because that was the residual subscriptions hit 100, and so they paid it out. I think there's like $20 in the Twitch kitty that I could get if I got another $80. I mean, so
it's kind of amazing.
Yeah. What the fuck, Twitch? Do your shit. Let's see. In other news, Lost Ark is back for some more controversy. So you remember Lost Ark, that weird Diablo clone Tessa and I played, where it was like all the women walk like they have stripper shoes on.
Oh, that one.
Yeah.
Yes, I know what you're talking about now.
Yeah. Apparently, Lost Ark has had a whole bunch of problems recently with bots and their battle pass and things like that. And one of their moderators went on to their subreddit and was like, made an impassioned plea for everybody to please fucking be cool and chill out. Like, basically explaining to the idiots of Reddit, sorry Reddit, but like you do have an idiot problem. I'm not going to lie here.
I'm on Reddit all the time. I am an idiot, so yes.
Like, hey, we're the community managers of this game, right? Like, if something important happens, we will tell you, but we're not the developers. We can't make things happen. We can like take requests and kick them up the chain. And we're also not hiding anything from you. Like, we're not doing
not
nefarious
on purpose, at least.
bullshit. And also, like, here's the quote: content moderators are human. We have human feelings. We also have human schedules. Most of us are Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 Pacific time. Some of us, like myself, are on weekends and nights. We take sick days and vacation. We have on days and off days.
That's exactly what a robot would say. I'm a human. Beep boop, bobby boop.
Yes.
My name is Hugh Man.
Human food. I mean food.
Let's listen to human music.
Human music. I'm not asking for a high five. Just please be kind when you can to the content moderators, to each other. It makes collecting feedback a lot more enjoyable, and your feedback does not make any more of an impact when you're mean with it. Promise. Look, man, I run a website that plays video games, and technically a lot of people that listen to this website are gamers, and I don't know, maybe I'm in a really salty mood recently, but like, did you just ask gamers to be decent? Because like, I'll be honest, 99% of them are decent, but that 1% that are not, they are the devil. They suck assholes out of other assholes.
Well, they saw what happened with the Battlefield guy, and they're like, that seems like a good idea.
Yes.
Nothing bad happened to him. I think this is a great idea.
Yeah. I don't know. I've been on the internet for a long time, Michael. I've never seen a plea for people to just fucking chill out and be nice work.
Ever.
Never. In fact, most of the time, that's just chum in the water, and they're even meaner to you after that.
Well, at that point, yeah, there's blood in the water, like you said with the chum. Like, usually, because before they don't care. They were like, well, you're just the thing in the background. But the second you put yourself forefront, saying, hey guys, stop making fun of me, and they're like, oh, let's make fun of that guy.
I take it back. I saw this work one time.
When was that?
It was when Nick Hodges asked people to stop calling him Nicky Poo and like got real mad on spill.com. And like
I forgot about that.
They kind of did. Like they kind of respected the fact that he got mad, and they kind of did. So
good for him.
I got mad a whole bunch of times and asked people to leave me the fuck alone, and they didn't do it. But, what are you going to do?
That happens.
What are you going to do?
Because you're not British, Jeff.
I think I have a very punchable voice, Michael, because like I can talk all the shit in the world about or like I can be nice until the cows come home and then be like, this Genshin Impact, I don't think I really like this game very much, and it's like boo, and then Jason is like, if you play this game, you're a fucking abomination to humanity. That video has no downvotes, like 0 downvotes on it.
It helps that it wasn't exactly directly a Genshin Impact.
Yeah,
but if it was, who knows what would have happened?
Yeah. It kind of was.
Also, he kept saying lolly, which is the funniest thing I've heard Jason just scream.
Yeah.
Instead of lolly.
Speaking of stuff that sucks real bad on the internet, Sega is delisting all of the existing places that you can buy Sonic, Sonic 2, Sonic 3, and Sonic CDs since last week they announced the Sonic Collection.
In their defense, it was really difficult to buy Sonic 3 anyways.
Yeah.
Sonic 3 and Knuckles was the one that was like nigh impossible to get.
The thing is that it seems like they're just consolidating it so like you can't buy them one by one anymore. Like you used to be able to buy them one at a time, and now you'll have to buy the whole pack for $40 that has all of them. As far as I'm concerned, like I don't think this has very much impact because if you're a person that really wanted to play Sonic the goddamn Hedgehog, you probably already have it.
Well, not only that, a lot of those are on other collections.
Yeah.
Like if you really wanted Sonic 1 and 2, there's a Sega collection that has them with no fucking, like, you don't even have to, they won't even have to cost you the amount it probably took to buy Sonic 1 and 2 together.
And Sonic 2 is on Switch Plus, Switch expansion pack.
Yeah. All of Sonic 1 and 2 is super fucking easy to get. No matter what.
Like, I'm gonna be real honest with you here. Like, if you go to the internet and you type in Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis ROM, you will find like 100 websites that you can download.
Also, no one really wants to play Sonic CD.
Yeah.
You're crazy if you actually are like, I'm a big fan of Sonic CD. No, you're not. You're a fucking liar.
Also, I gotta be honest, like, this was announced last week, and it's like I really like the way that they made it widescreen.
Yeah,
right? Like
they did a widescreen. They pulled a Crash Bandicoot 4 where you can play it without having to deal with lives.
Yeah.
And I'm happy about that.
Yeah.
Because there are plenty of people who want to play these games who suck at these games because Sonic the Hedgehog games are very weird compared to a normal platformer. That's why I've never finished them, because they're really difficult because he just starts hauling ass like immediately. Mm-hmm. So it's harder to do like normal platforming things because of it.
I don't play them because Sonic the Hedgehog is the worst video game character of all time.
In my defense, that was the original reason I didn't play it, to be honest. The only reason I started playing it again was when Mike lived with me.
Yeah.
He was obsessed with Sonic the Hedgehog.
Yeah.
And he actually like bought the Sega collection on my PS4 and Sonic Mania. And I was like, you know what? I like Knuckles, and I started playing it with Knuckles.
Yeah, I'm just more of a Mario guy. I'm more of a Mario guy.
And it makes sense why when you replay Sonic 1 and 2, you're like, these games did not age the way Super Mario Brothers 1 through 3 did.
Super Mario World is still one of the best games I've ever played in my life. Like, and it holds
so good.
It holds up.
Well, all of the Mario games, or all the original Mario games, do for the most part.
Yeah.
Minus, the weird
lost levels,
offshoots.
Yeah.
Well, even Levels does. It's just a hard game.
Yeah. Yeah. So anyway, get your Sonic while you can, I guess, or just wait and buy the other one. So
Mario's Missing was the one I was thinking of.
May 20th is when this is happening. So it's like they're delisting these on May 20th, and then the new one comes out on June 3rd. So like, you have a lot of time to get these if you really, really, really want to purchase one of them individually.
And everyone's just gonna not. They're just gonna wait for the other one anyways.
Just go download the ROMs. The ROM police aren't coming to your fucking house.
They're also like really cheap. Like again, they're on everything. There's not a single thing that doesn't have some sort of Sonic thing.
Yep.
Or not even Sonic thing, some sort of Sega thing that you can't buy that has Sonic 1 or 2 on it. Whether it's the Sega Mini, whether it's those like Sega compilation things that you buy at Walmart for like $20.
Yep.
Or again, like I said, the Sega collections that are on fucking everything.
True.
That has Sonic 1 and 2. So, it's fucking everywhere.
You can get that Sonic.
If you wanted Sonic 1 and 2, you probably already have Sonic 1 and 2.
Yeah.
End of story.
We may not be able to get Sonic on Steam anymore, but Do you know what you can get this week on Steam?
Steam.
Bethesda added Elder Scrolls Arena, Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, like Elder Scrolls Redguard, and like a bunch of other like old ass Elder Scrolls games to Steam. And Elder Scrolls Arena and Elder Scrolls Daggerfall, which is Elder Scrolls 1 and 2, are both free. Like, you just go fucking get them.
That's kind of amazing, actually.
Yeah. They also put Wolfenstein Enemy Territory on Steam, which was that multiplayer offshoot of like the first 3D Wolfenstein from
I forgot
Quake.
about that.
Yeah. And then they also put Redguard and Battlespire, which those are $6 a piece, and I think that's a fucking insult because Redguard is not a great game. And
you gotta make money somehow, Jeff.
It's those fucking well. Also, they put Elder Scrolls Online is on sale for like $6 this week. So,
okay, good for those 5 people.
I don't actually think that Bethesda needs to make money at this point. I'd be willing to bet that Bethesda could probably run for like 5 or 6 years if they just like stop making any money right now.
Well, they now fucking are owned by Microsoft.
Yeah,
Microsoft will just give them more money.
Yeah. There you go. But yeah, I don't know. I'll tell you what. I had a friend that loaned me like literally the discs for Daggerfall.
Oh, okay.
Because he loved it and he wouldn't stop talking about it. And so I brought it home and I got out of the main dungeon. And because he gave me like pirate discs and I didn't have a manual or anything, and this was like before the internet was really big and there was no real manual, I literally held down the like go forward button for 40 minutes to get to a town. I walked like real time to a place. And then I got really bored and stopped playing the game. And so that was my Daggerfall experience.
That's kind of amazing. I kind of love that. But it's a very common experience back in the day.
And then it was like, I've had this conversation with other people, the stupid Jeff conversation, where I gave back to him and I was like, this game sucks. Get the fuck away from me. He's like, why? And I'm like, it took me 40 minutes to walk to town. He's like, there's a map. Did you use the map to quick travel? And I'm like, no. He's like, well, do you want this back so you could try that? And I'm like, no. I'm going to go fucking play,
I'm going to play Wolfenstein.
I'm going to play Relentless Twinson's Adventure over here. I'm going to play, what was that game? What was that FMV game where you go through the Journeyman Project? I'm going to go home and play
no
the
one's
fucking...
talked about the Journeyman Project
Journeyman Project
20 years.
On my gateway system off of CD-ROM.
Somebody's Googling the Journeyman Project right now. Like, that's a real thing? Yes, it's a real thing.
That game sucks.
Yes, it did.
In other Bethesda news, you can now transfer your games out of the Bethesda launcher into Steam because Bethesda launcher is getting shut down, so you can now basically transfer games that you have there over to Steam. This process is ballsack.
Oh, geez.
Because these games were never meant to do this. So, like, some games you can just transfer. You just go to the website, you link your Steam account to your Bethesda account, and it transfers it. In fact, I believe you can actually transfer your game with most games.
Yeah.
But then the problem is, what about my fucking save games? Because there's not like a process for transferring games into the Steam cloud, right?
Shit.
So it's like you have to find the file. Some games do transfer. Some games you have to find the file. Some games like Doom Eternal, you can do neither with. And you have to use a third-party app to extract your save games out of Doom Eternal.
God, that's awful.
And then import them back into Steam.
I didn't think Doom Eternal could get any harder.
Yes. There is a whole FAQ on Bethesda's website about how to transfer various games from one service to another. One would think that this level of complexity would indicate that you probably shouldn't start up a fucking service if you don't want to deal with this crap somewhere down the line.
Yeah, holy shit.
So, yeah.
That's a pain in the ass. Oh my God.
There's a lot of these things that are a pain in the ass. Like, it really does, Amanda and I played the Isle of Big Snacks, right? And I just like downloaded Bug Snacks and then downloaded my save game that's at the end of Bug Snacks, and then I hit the go button, and like it was all a shit show after that. But it was really easy to get right back into where I left off on Bug Snacks,
which is not a bad thing.
Let's see another PC news. The Steam Deck got an update last week that apparently does some adjustments to the fan, which is making a lot of noise. There was actually a PSA, I believe, that Steam had to put out where they said, do not open up the back of your Steam Deck and then jam the fan so that it won't run because you're tired of the noise that it makes.
Jesus Christ, people. What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, this is for people who haven't ever had to have their hands guts deep on the inside of a PC, right?
My God.
They just bought a Steam Deck and they were like, it's too loud. It's too loud. Fucking turn that fan off.
Stop the fan from running like a fucking crazy person.
But yeah, there's also a lock screen. You can now put up to 6-digit pin lock screen on your Steam Deck for when you're playing those Senran Kagura games and Grandma comes in.
Not only that, you can still buy stuff off of it. So
that
could really fuck somebody over if they're not careful.
Yep. And there's also some more localization options. So I actually really appreciate how much support Valve has put in the Steam Deck, because I've been sitting here for 8.5 years on the Rage Select podcast, almost 9 years now on the Rage Select podcast, being like, Steam, do something, any fucking thing.
That's true.
And like they did a thing, and they're continuing to support that thing. So
for now,
yeah,
we'll see how it plays out.
Now make Portal 3, you cowards.
It's a Steam Deck exclusive.
I would buy a Steam Deck to play Portal 3.
That's fair.
I would do it. Elden Ring. Speaking of updates, so last week we had the 1.04 update of Elden Ring that added a few new things into the game. And one of the things that it broke was the Millennia fight. I don't know if you heard about this.
Wait, what did it do?
When you are if you were playing online, if you're playing co-op, Millennia no longer needed to hit anything to get health back. If she whiffed, she still got the health back.
Oh my God, that's awful.
Yeah. It made it really difficult for that, let me solo her guy.
Yeah.
Like, you still could do it, but it was like a serious pain in
Twice
the
as
dick.
long. Yeah.
I said this last week. This is fixed. This got fixed.
Thank God. Jesus Christ, that's scary.
It was like, a week and it got fixed. So, yeah. There was also a few other fights that were bugged out. Like there was something wrong with Radan, I believe, that made him like no. Godskin Duo and Fire Giant both had things where like the bleed damage on them was like jacked way up, and then like their second phase of their fight they would just die. Like you get the second phase and like their health bar would just go away. So
that's amazing.
Yeah.
There's one that says the final boss just didn't attack.
Just didn't do some of their attacks. Yeah. So yeah, that's all fixed. I have to say, I'm going to say it before, I'm going to say it again. I've been really, really, really impressed with the fact that From Software has never put this amount of work into constant low-level updates. Patch 104 upped the damage on every single heavy, like, big giant weapon in the game.
Yeah.
And, rebalanced a whole shitload of stuff. Normally, From Software, this is the cool thing, Michael, is that normally when From Software needs to make a damage adjustment like that, instead of upping the damage on heavy weapons, they would have nerfed all sorceries. But instead, they just, raised the amount of damage that this one set of weapons did.
That's fascinating.
Which is great. So, also, just a brief PSA, we can't start playing Elden Ring until they fucking stop adding shit in.
That's true.
So
they keep adding more plot to it.
And not only that, but on the PC at some point, they are supposed to add ray tracing to that game.
Oh yeah, let's forget about that.
And I really want to see what that game looks like with ray tracing because of all the spells and the magic particle effects and stuff.
All the torch stuff. There's so many cool things that would work with that.
It would look like a brand new game.
No?
There's some of those dungeons that are so dark where you got to use a torch. They finally got to the Demon Souls 2 or Dark Souls 2. They finally got the torch of Dark Souls 2 working. So yeah, and there's some places I really want to see. I really want to see what. Can you imagine? Because you're about halfway through the game. Can you imagine what the Academy of Raya Lucaria would look like if all the glowing there bounced off the walls?
That shit would be freaky.
Yeah. Can you imagine what the fight with what's her face Renala would look like?
Oh my God!
When she pulls that moon out, how that would look if the lighting was all ray traced and
That'd
shit.
Be really cool.
Yeah, so I want to see all that stuff. I want to, like, we've all seen Elden Ring. I want, like, when we do it, I want to be able to, like, I want the lore to be sorted. I want it to look the best that it can, and I want it to be stable and finished and have all the cut content that they're going to put back in, and then, like, boom, it's like a whole other game, right?
Yeah, so I think it's a really good idea still.
Let's see. Speaking of games that are getting updates, you'll never guess. Don't look at the tabs. You'll never guess what else is getting an update, Michael.
Sonic 2.
Guess what's getting not just an update, but a roadmap, a very popular game that came out this year that all you motherfuckers have totally forgotten about.
Sifu.
It is Sifu.
Because I know they've been working on some stuff for that one.
Yep. Sifu is a 2022 roadmap, and the first thing that's coming out in spring is difficulty options.
Oh yeah, because that was the thing that I was hearing them working on.
Yeah, so difficulty options, more training, like a more complicated, like a more comprehensive training.
Oh, okay,
thing.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, and then different outfits, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. In the summer, they're going to be doing advanced scoring, so the scoring is going to be getting more granular about how, like, you get your score, and then, like, different gameplay modifiers that you can add on. Like in this example on this little picture that they have, it says no pendant, 1 health point, no guard, stronger enemies, golden staff, all skills unlocked, bullet time.
That's
like,
scary.
Yeah.
Some of those are sounding real scary.
Fall is going to have a replay editor, which is really cool. Like that's
really cool.
I really hope this game continues to have legs, and it's also going to have new modifiers and outfits. And then in winter, there's going to be a new game mode called Arenas that I assume is just going to be kind of like combat challenges with more modifiers and more new outfits. Sounds like by the time that gets done, it's like, hey man, by winter, right? Like that shit came out in January or February.
Yeah, February, I think.
By winter, you'd be ripe to go back and replay Sifu and be like, hey, I want to see all this new shit. I want the outfits. I want the replays. I want all that stuff.
I'm glad for that, because Sifu was a really interesting game that took the internet by storm for a while.
Yeah.
Until, other stuff started coming out.
I think it was mostly until Elden Ring came out. Like,
for the most part. Well, it was once Horizon came out and then Elden Ring, because that was the same week.
Right.
That just sort of took its thunder. But that was the main thing for a while, was Sifu.
I mean, Elden Ring, Horizon had, I believe, a week before Elden Ring.
It was within like a week time frame.
Because I remember I tried really hard to get into Horizon, and I was kind of like,
because that was the gag, was that Horizon had a really bad time frame for coming out.
Yep.
Because the first time it came out, Breath of the Wild came out like a week later.
Yep.
And then Elden Ring came out like a week later.
Yep.
Consistently stealing Aloy's thunder. But people really like Aloy still, so good for them.
Yeah. We can get around to it at some point. We also had a really big new game announcement. Something is coming. A new sequel to a beloved franchise.
Are they making more Duke Nukems?
They're not making more Duke Nukems. You shut the fuck up. I said beloved franchise.
It's beloved to me, damn it.
It's beloved to more than one person.
Duke Nukem said that he will do weddings.
Yes, I know. But John St. John was also the voice of the postal guy.
That's true. He's also Big the Cat.
Yes.
From Sonic. Are they making more Sonic? So what you're telling me?
Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh.
Is getting a new entry. Apparently,
that's interesting.
At PAX, Randy Pitchford got up on stage and said that they're making a new one. Apparently, it's going to have new characters, and there's very little information, but there's going to be another one.
Well, of course, it would need new characters. They pissed off Troy Baker too hard.
Oh, there's that. If I'm not mistaken, like Tales from the Borderlands is like one of the most beloved of the Telltale games.
Dude, people love that game.
Yeah.
That's why they were so mad about Troy Baker didn't come back.
Yeah.
Because they were such a big fan of this character.
Oh, okay. Was he the main character?
Yeah, he was the main character.
Okay.
So when he showed up in 3, they're like, "Oh, he's back," and then he's voiced by somebody else, and they're like, "Well, fuck you, Randy Pitchford."
Yeah.
And then they found out why, and they doubly said, "Fuck you, Randy Pitchford."
Fuck? Oh God. I opened a YouTube video and it's just been playing and going to the next thing on the list. I'm surprised I'm not looking at like PragerU at this point or something.
Good for us.
Yeah, so we'll find out more about that apparently later. But
that's nice.
Beep. Let's see. Next up, speaking of narrative games, we found out that Supermassive's the Quarry game that's coming up, which is the kind of teenagers, looks like the actual spiritual successor to Until Dawn, like everything else, is going to have 186 different endings.
Oh my God. How many of them do involve buckets?
I don't. Not enough. It's funny because they talk about how like It's like they send the actors like the script, and they're used to getting like a 10-page script, and they send them like a 50-page script, and they're just like, wait, what the fuck? So apparently they're going to be recording. This is going to be like the biggest one ever, where they're recording like different lines of dialogue that change based on the smaller choices that you make.
That's kind of cool though.
Yeah,
like because a lot of places tend to be like, you have so many endings, and they tend to just be like. They tend to be like big sweeping things based on that, but I like the idea of them actually doing the smaller choices being your actual thing.
Yeah, which they've had enough. I think they've had enough experience, like kind of mapping this stuff out to be able to do that.
Yeah, hopefully it looks good whenever these things happen.
Yeah, I just hope this one works as well as Until Dawn, because I feel like Supermassive has been a little flaily. They had that
just a bit.
They had that weird detective game that was on PlayStation that nobody really liked all that much, or nobody talked about. I feel like House of Ashes has been hit or miss
for the most part. Yeah,
they had that one VR game. They had 2 VR games.
The VR games actually did pretty well.
Yeah,
a lot of people like those, but they were not what people were wanting.
Yeah, they wanted Until Dawn too.
Yeah, instead they got these rail shooters.
Yeah,
that are fun, but again, they're not what they wanted.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see how that goes. It'll be nice to see if a company actually is able to be like, your choices actually matter at this point. Like,
yeah, which I like the idea of. If they can make it work, then they will be the ones to do it. Luckily, hopefully.
Let's see. Speaking of endings, you remember those guys that did that raffle on Twitch for the PC, and then that lady won it, and they were like, "You're not popular enough."
Yeah.
And then they filed for then they announced they were going out of business, and now they have filed for bankruptcy.
Oh, jeez.
This is kind of insane because apparently, like, they have $1.37 million worth of unfulfilled orders.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And like, as I understand it, when you file for bankruptcy, it's like you're not completely off the hook for your debt, but you also like are not in a position where you immediately have to pay back your debt. Like,
well, that's why you have to file. That's why they have to file for it,
right?
Because otherwise they're going to get into collections, and then it becomes a whole other thing.
Yeah. So it's unclear what's going to happen. They're apparently going to be. They have a restructuring officer that's coming in looking for buyers to buy out the assets, which is an estimated $917,000 worth of inventory. The owner estimates it's $1.27 million worth of assets. It's unclear whether that's true or not. But I found in this this is from the PCGamer.com story, I found out what happened. This company, so the big thing with this company was that they built their PCs on stream.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, watch your PC being built, right? And they would talk to people online, stuff like that. But before they got into all of this, they built crypto mining machines.
Oh, God.
And apparently, when they transitioned over into retail, they did not stop, like, fully making crypto mining machines. And so apparently a lot of the orders that were supposed to go out would get delayed because as the parts shortages were happening, those parts would get routed to the remaining 20% of the business that was building crypto mining machines to sell to crypto miners, and not to, like, the person like you who spent $4,000 on like a brand new RTX machine.
Yeah.
Which then, like, made it so that people were very unhappy with them, and then they just started getting like backlogs and backlogs and backlogs, and then that was what made the company so brittle that when that controversy happened, it just kind of fucking cracked the whole nut. Like,
Jesus Christ. I want to say those poor bastards, but they did it to themselves.
They did it. They did. This is just, this is your Rage Select weekly update. Don't fuck with crypto. Stay the fuck out of crypto. Crypto is evil. It's a big.
Well, cryptocurrency is evil. Crypto the Superdog's pretty cool.
Did you see that thing this week where like all shitload of the Bored Apes got stolen? Like a huge amount of money.
No, I did not hear about this. What happened?
And apes got stolen. It was a fiasco.
They stole the apes?
They stole the apes.
Oh my God. Somebody called Donkey Kong.
The one that actually made money. It's like Axie Infinity crashed and burned. They got like several $100 million stolen from them, and then like people are taking the apes, and like the whole thing is just a wild fucking west, man. It's like
they stole the apes.
It's
what
like,
else is going to happen?
If you if you buy into the crypto environment at this point, you're like one of the NPCs in Free Guy, not Ryan Reynolds, because like you're just walking around trying to do shit, and meanwhile the entire rest of that environment is just like exploding in car chases and murder. Like it's all
That's
fucked
true.
up.
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't fucking do it.
Do you know if the Bored Ape animated guy is still making episodes?
They made a second one.
They did?
And I know about this because they decided to put a bunch of people who reviewed the first one poorly into it to like lambast them. But like, do you know who Saber Spark is?
I do.
Yeah, they like put him in there, and then it was like, this is Saber Fart. And so it was like Saber Spark was like, yeah, I'm taking that. Like Saber Fart is now my alt character for my channel, and I've drawn him, and like he's going to be my little buddy that's with me in here.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's what you should do. You should take advantage of the stupid people's decisions.
There's another guy. I don't know. I don't remember his name. YouTube keeps trying to recommend him to me. He's an African American guy that wears Joker makeup and does like a variety of different just kind of political commentary
That's
stuff.
weird.
They put him in there apparently.
How come we're not in this thing? We said shit about it.
We're not. No, Michael. Oh my God, I almost forgot about this. So I'm so glad that you asked me that question. I'm so glad that you asked me why are we not in this, because last week Axie Infinity sent me an email asking to do a paid sponsorship for the Axie Infinity game on Rage Select.
Are you serious?
And I'm like, motherfucker, our videos get 500 hits, and you obviously have never listened to the podcast because I think you people are immoral devils. Like, I think you're just like you're kind of like the president from Metal Gear Rising, but not as cool, like less cool than that guy.
The senator?
Yeah, the
nanomachine senator.
Yeah, nanomachine.
He
senator.
played for UT.
Yeah, no, they literally sent me an offer to do a sponsored. It was either a sponsored post or a sponsored video on Rage Select.
Did they say how much it was?
No, they were going to pay me in crypto.
Okay, that's
then
what
I would have to own crypto.
That's what I was curious about. It's like, were they actually going to pay you, or was it going to be some stupid bullshit?
Man, maybe
Here's an ape.
Maybe I should email them back and say that I'll do it for like American money.
Yeah,
like
I'd do it for money.
What was that? The Rick and Morty. It's just like, I can tell you how to get out of this for money.
Yeah, that's why I did the hand. That's why I did the hand, because that's what he does. He goes for money. Who's paying me to yell at this guy?
Anyway, speaking of ridiculous amounts of money, did you see this Final Fantasy statue that got announced last week?
No, what the fuck is this?
Okay, this is a frankly beautiful statue of Terra. It's like, okay, you know the box art from Final Fantasy VI?
Yeah.
Where it's Terra and she's riding the Magitech armor? It is a statue of that, and it's fucking huge. Like, it's very big.
Oh my god, yeah, that thing is massive.
And it is but it is also $11,000.
$11,000?
Yes. Like, don't get me wrong. This is a nice as fuck statue, and apparently you can switch out some of the little pieces and you can change it around a little bit. But like, and again, I want to be very clear here. Like, whoever made this is very talented because it looks incredible.
Was there only one of them? Is that why it's cost so much?
Nope. You can buy one for $11,000.
Fucking hell!
Not in apes, in money, like real money.
I think it's massive,
but it's huge, and they have this really nice video where this is the guy that did the art, right? The guy that does all the Final Fantasy art, right? So they showed him this 3D rendition of his like original box art, and he's just like, "Oh, it's very interesting." Like he talks about how like, you know, he only drew it from the one perspective, and then they filled in all this detail, and like they even when you see the original artwork, it's like they added a lot to it.
Yeah, holy shit.
It's very, very detailed, very, very cool, but Hinobu Sakaguchi, who is he was the guy that did he was like the director of the Final Fantasy series, and then he left to do Blue Dragon and Lost Odyssey.
Oh, okay.
And then he did Fantasian for the Apple Arcade. And he like was talking about how like the quote is, "Are you okay, Square Enix?" It's like, who is going to buy this? And like, if you had a smaller version that was like a few $100s, like, I bet people would buy it.
Oh, people absolutely would buy that.
But like, man, ain't nobody got $11,000. I think the best thing was in the comments on this article, somebody was like, and then next quarter, Square Enix talks about how this statue didn't sell at all. We missed all of our projections, and we're canceling the statue.
That's absolutely something one of them would say.
It's the same company that made the Nier Automata statues. Like, there was a series of statues.
Do you know how much those were?
I don't actually, because it's all in Japanese.
A lot of these statues tend to be fairly expensive, but they're usually like within the $200-$300 range.
Yeah.
Usually, because they want people to buy them.
Right.
For one thing, I remember the most expensive statue I'd seen in a while in person was at one of the RTXs. They made this limited ruby statue that was fairly big, and I think it was like $1,000 or something like that. And yeah, I was like, who would want that? But apparently a lot of people did, because they sold out of them.
Wow.
But it was just like, even then that was real expensive to me, and I was like, fuck you guys.
Yeah.
But people have a limit, but 11,000 is definitely
that's the
way
limit.
past that limit.
You found it.
My car cost me $10,000.
Yeah.
And it's taken me everywhere for the past 6 years.
Yeah.
That statue's not going to take me anywhere.
Yeah. Definitely for people with way too much money.
And it took me 5 years to pay off that car.
Is that a Kingdom Hearts one that's by the same? Let's see. I don't know what I'm looking at. No, this is just some Kingdom Hearts bullshit.
It's that phone game.
Oh, it's that phone game. Okay. Right. All right. So last but not least, if you want something that probably is a couple $100s that you can get, apparently Atari is putting out not an NFT, but they're celebrating their anniversary with an Atari 2600 Lego console.
That's nice.
And it's going to be like the one that the Nintendo did, where it has a TV that like rotates a scene, except the scene will be Pitfall.
I figured that's what it would be. That would have been my choice if we did something like that.
Yeah. There's no like shots of it or anything. Apparently you'll turn the screen using the controller, which was kind of interesting. And that's a nice thing. That's something you should do. Congratulations, Atari.
It's probably in its prototype phase. It's probably why they don't have anything in the show yet.
Yeah. But they're going to be putting that out at some point this year. And yeah, that's a good move. I agree. So.
You can still find those Nintendo ones if you look hard enough. They're actually not as hard to find as I thought they'd be.
Yeah, they're still really expensive though, right?
They're like a couple $100.
I know I'm not gonna.
I saw one at the Lego store last time I was there, and that was when Eternals came out.
You know what? The only one that I've ever been tempted is the big question mark block that opens up the little dioramas of the little characters, because then I could close it and have a little question mark block.
I almost bought the Daily Bugle. Yeah, that thing is massive, and I don't have room for it.
I also wanted
like $300.
I got really close a lot of times for Christmas of buying my sister the Friends.
There's a Friends one,
Central Perk thing.
There's a Seinfeld one now that I know somebody bought not too long ago. I didn't know it existed until I was at that Lego store when I saw the Daily Bugle one and the Nintendo one there. Mm-hmm. They made this giant bat wing at one point.
Yep,
that was pretty cool.
Yep.
But they're all really expensive.
They are expensive.
So,
Legos are goddamn expensive. That's going to take for fucking ever to put together. And like, for my birthday several years ago, one of the fans of Rage Select sent me the AT-AT that's on my kitchen counter. And it's like, I put it together and now it's sitting on my kitchen counter and I look at it and go, that's an AT-AT.
Yeah.
And I don't like play with it because I'm 44 years old and I don't play Legos anymore. I probably should play Legos, but I don't have that much CBD oil, so I can't,
I wanted to buy the Ecto. They made two Ecto 1 ones. They made one that wasn't as complicated, and they made one fairly recently.
Yeah. That
was based on Afterlife that was like super complicated, but that one was real expensive.
We're so over time.
Are we?
Yep. We have 10 minutes left to go through all the rest of this.
Holy shit.
Right. Let's get to trailers. Speaking of nostalgia, last week, Disney put out a trailer for Disney Dreamlight Valley. Did you see this, Michael?
I did not.
This is like an Animal Crossing meets The Sims, kind of meets Kingdom Hearts, kind of meets those like theme park games.
Okay. I think we saw an announcement for this at one point.
Yeah.
Was that Scrooge McDuck being broke? Because that makes no sense.
Yeah, Scrooge McDuck being sad because the vines had taken over. So you get to make yourself a fancy generic avatar character, and then you got to walk around and kind of like clean up the world and do mini games and unlock the various characters, and it brings them back to the world. And then they're kind of Animal Crossing. You get to build a house. And it looks very nice. It looks like a very nice little game.
It does. Can you bully them to leave so another character can move in?
I don't.
Is that still a thing?
I don't think so.
I'm glad that the toys are actually toy sized, by the way.
Oh, that the Toy Story toys? Yes.
Yeah, when it showed Woody, he's actually like the size of a toy.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a very nice art style. It's very like Disney, right? The thing is that if you've been paying attention, if you've been paying attention, Disney games have a bad track record.
100%.
This will probably come out. It will probably sell moderately well. It will probably be very popular. And then Disney will probably shut it down and cancel it and not do anything. Like,
I'm still kind of bummed that the Disney Infinity didn't take off for longer, because I wanted a Darkwing Duck and they never made one.
There was no reason for them to shut that shit down.
There really wasn't.
They boxed themselves into a corner with that shit. That was like the only place. There was pretty good Star Wars games. There was some pretty good Marvel games. Like when there were no Marvel games, there were some pretty good Avengers games. Like,
they overmade the figures was the issue.
Yep.
Because I remember hearing about that Hulk thing where they had like warehouses full of Hulk figures that
Yep.
they couldn't sell.
It's because Disney is terrible. Like they're terrible at video games. They'll buy a video game company, tell them to do something, they'll do that one thing, and then they'll be like, the whole story of Warren Spector and fucking Epic Mickey is a mess.
It's a fucking nightmare.
The only problem here, Michael, see if you can spot it.
I saw it.
Did you see it?
Gameloft.
It's being made by Gameloft, which means that it's probably going to be freemium at the worst, free to play with irritating microtransactions at best. Like
I don't know. It can vary. Gameloft has made games that were not fully
the worst.
The worst. Yeah, because they made some decent phone superhero games.
Yeah.
They made a Dark Knight game and a Amazing Spider-Man game that I actually had on my phone at one point. And they actually weren't terrible. They just weren't, great either.
This is also coming to everything. The version of the trailer that I got is off of the PlayStation channel, but it's coming to everything. Xbox, PC, phones, Mac, Switch, everything.
Okay. Yeah, this could vary then. This could really vary.
Yeah. Let's see. We got a trailer for Halo Infinite Season 2. Did you watch the Lone Wolves multiplayer story teaser?
I did see this.
I don't understand what the fuck is going on in here. I thought this was multiplayer. What's going on?
Well, it's just they want everything to have a coherent plot sort of thing. Because in the beginning, you remember the idea was that Earth was somewhat lost to what was going on. And so you were trained by that specific Spartan that it shows there.
Yeah.
And now they want to do more stuff with it, I guess, as a story. But the thing is, they're all like, there's no actual story per se. It seems to be mostly just these trailers that are the stories.
Yeah.
Than the actual thing.
Like, there's this whole thing where this medic is like, take out his chip. And they're like, yeah, if you take out his chip, he'll die. And I'm like, what does any of this have to do with multiplayer? Like,
that's the thing, because the only time there's anything story related is in the training mode, because there's a training mode in the game.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll be like, well, you're the new recruit. And then you talk to the lady, and the lady's like, oh, do these things. And then that's it. So maybe they'll add another offline thing to it that will connect to this, maybe? Who knows?
Okay.
But it's very strange that they even are considering them story trailers.
It's at least good that Halo seems like it's not shitting itself into oblivion. Like, it seems to be doing well. So
they're trying to make sure that people still are willing to do stuff on it. And it's been a while since people have been interested in it, unfortunately.
Speaking of weird shit that probably has nothing to do with the game, we also got the Call of Duty Vanguard Warzone Godzilla vs. Kong Season 3 Battle Pass trailer that has, actual, King Goddamn Kong and fucking Goddamn Zilla in it.
Yeah.
And poor Matt Frank. But, Michael, I went to the website. I don't even think Godzilla and Kong are in the game.
No, they're in it.
They are?
That's the thing, is that I found a gameplay trailer where it shows them. Actually, I think it's this one. Actually, hold on. See, that's right here.
Right, but I don't.
So they're getting shot at, but I don't know what they're part of. I don't know if maybe they're events that happen on the map that you just go to fight them or something.
I think this is a lie. I don't think this is actually happening. Or at least, okay, listen.
It splices some of the trailer footage is the issue.
If it's actually happening, the problem that I have with this is if it's actually happening, like when you go to the Call of Duty Operation Monarch website, it talks about like it's got like a skin of a guy wearing like a King Kong mask and like a Godzilla hoodie and like a Mechagodzilla outfit and like swords, and then there's like stuff on the map where it's like, oh, there's like a skeleton of a giant monkey on the map, but like at no point in here
does it explain what's going on with the
like
thing.
And then you can make King Kong attack. Like I don't really like, there's a whole little road mappy thing. That was the wrong button. What? Okay, fine. Open it then. There's this whole road mappy thing, right? And it's like new gulag, new PO point of interest dig site, new gameplay, Caldera Iron Trials, like Kong and Mechagodzilla skins, and like some zombies modes things, and like if Godzilla and King Kong are in this update, Michael, why won't they tell me? Why won't they tell me that fact? Like, why will they not tell me that they are in this update? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. Is just like I can't.
Why are they being
so
cagey little pricks about it? Like, I did a search on YouTube today, and I was like, all I could find was people.
Oh,
that
here
were
it
like,
is. It says Operation Monarch, which begins May 11th, will feature a separate mode that has Godzilla and Kong. Per Raven, players will retrieve intel on the map to acquire the Monarch stream device, that thing from the King of the Monsters.
Yeah, idiot movie
and
thing.
if you have this device, you can control Godzilla or Kong.
Okay.
So they are in the game. But you can only make them appear if you have the device.
And also May 11th, even though everything else was like April 27th.
Yes.
Like, even though this season started on April 27th, but you have to wait till May 11th.
That's why it has the dude with the thing.
Okay.
Because I was wondering why he had that machine or whatever.
Look,
it's him controlling it. But that's the thing, is that there's nothing. I had to find that from a dude tweeting out.
Right.
Like the explanation. It's not on the site or anything. So, well, now you know how it works. So maybe you could get Matt and Jason to do something for it.
I don't know.
But
all I know
the
is
odds of them actually getting to control them are very slim.
All I know is that I'd rather have Snoop Dogg.
But what about Snoop Lion?
There is one of the skins for the guns that he has a lion on it.
Oh, seriously?
Oh yeah. No, I think I don't know. We talked about this last week, and I feel like I wanted everybody to watch the trailer for this, because they did a really, really, really good job with Snoop Dogg in Call of Duty.
Oh my God.
Like, he looks great, and he's got these like finishing moves. Like, watch the light on the end of his gun when he shoots. Instead of being like a starburst, it's like a weed leaf.
Are you serious?
Yes. Like, they did. There's the lion. There's Snoop Lion on that one MP40 skin. Like, Snoop Dogg in Call of Duty looks amazing, and I fucking love it. Like, yeah, look.
Oh my God, it is.
Did you see it?
It totally is.
Like, it's so good. Like, so now I'm only gonna play that Godzilla.
If Snoop Dogg
with
fights
Snoop
Godzilla.
Dogg. I want Snoop Dogg to control Godzilla.
That's the new movie, Snoop Dogg versus Godzilla.
Or like G to the Zilla.
G to the Zilla is a pretty good name for a Godzilla versus Snoop Dogg movie.
I don't want to try to do an actual Snoop Dogg voice, because that would be bad.
It's a hard voice to do, to be honest.
Everybody's favorite game, Outriders, got a huge update last week called World Slayer.
Is Outriders still a thing?
Outriders still a thing. And they got into like essentially their season 2, where they added a bunch of new stuff.
Good for them.
I feel bad about this, because when I watch this trailer, I'm like, oh, look, it's Destiny. I feel like I'm just watching a trailer for Destiny.
It's kind of all it looks like, to be honest. I thought it was Destiny for a second until you said it was Outriders.
Yeah, which, I don't know. Poor Outriders. Oh, well.
Well, no one talked about it. No one still talks about it, but no one talks bad about it anymore. They just don't talk about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was like a thing people talked about for a week, and then it was gone. So, let's see. Babylon's Fall.
Jesus Christ.
I'm not actually going to talk much about this, because this is a... Okay, this video came out on April 27th, Michael. This is a 3-minute, 43-second video, and I watched it It is just explaining what Babylon's Fall is and how to play it.
Are you serious?
Yes.
That's terrible.
Yes.
This far into the fucking release?
Yes.
Oh my god.
It is explaining Babylon's Fall to people who don't know what Babylon's Fall is. Because I kept waiting for them to talk about, like, oh, is it like a roadmap? Because it says game outline trailer. And I was like, oh, is it telling us what's going to happen in the future? And I was like, no. It is just explaining, like, what the different weapons are and how you fight and that there's, like, dungeons and shit.
They really want people to play this game.
They do.
See, what it was is that you guys just didn't understand how the game worked.
That's it.
So what if we explain to you how this terrible game works instead?
Yep.
Now you want it, right? No. The answer is still no.
Let's see. And then, oh my God.
Speaking of games I don't fucking give a shit about.
Vampire the Masquerade Blood Hunt got a launch trailer. This is the Battle Royale vampire game.
Which is such a weird fucking thing to do.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah. Well, this franchise is like Warhammer 40K. They'll just give it to anybody. There's like a bunch of visual novels that are based in this. And
That's
there's
true.
like that Vampire the Masquerade 2 that they're still working on. But it's a pretty good trailer. And like, you know, that game's free. So you're here first. I'm going to make Michael play it at some point.
No, I'm good.
We're gonna play it. We're gonna find out. We're gonna find out how good these vampires are. Let's see. We're gonna skip some stuff. Oh, you know what? This is a really interesting trailer, and I found it at the last second. So, this is a game called American Arcadia, and it's got a very small teaser. It's being made by Raw Fury and Out of the Blue, which made Call of the Sea. Remember that game?
Yeah.
Yeah. And the point of it is that it's like this weird dystopian, like 1970s, like show. But the thing is that everybody in the show is on like a Truman Show, like they don't know that they're on a TV show thing.
Okay.
But then like in this very short trailer, they show in the bottom corner, they're doing like a mock commercial and they have a montage at the bottom. And they're like, God damn it. 4025 is trying to escape, like scramble the drones or whatever.
Yeah.
And apparently what this is it is a, it's two different types of games. It is a side-scrolling game where you play as a guy that is stuck in the TV show that is trying to get out, and then that's kind of a platformer. And then the other half of it is you play, they did a really bad job of showing the livery on the trailer. The other half of it is you playing as this, one of the editors in the control booth who's doing like stealth missions to try to help the person get out, like by going around the office and trying to like hack stuff and do stuff. Looks really cool.
It's a really cool idea, actually.
Yeah. So they're going to show the full trailer at Summer Game Fest. That was just a teaser that they showed.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm super down with this.
I like the idea a lot.
It's also got a very kind of like 1970s aesthetic to it, which I'm a big ass fan of.
Which makes sense.
So, yeah. Let's see. Whew. We also got Dying Light 2 got a patch. New Game Plus is in there. So if you want to
Oh, that's nice.
Remember this game that was 280 hours long or whatever?
I actually didn't know it came out.
Oh, yeah. Totally came out.
I assumed it was still like supposed to come out later in the year.
Nope.
Because I haven't really seen anybody talk about it.
Did dojos for it with Chris. 2 whole episodes.
Don't remember that at all, to be honest.
Put them out. Yeah, so like once you've beaten the longest video game I've ever seen in my life, apparently now you can start over again and play it a New Game Plus.
Of course, Jeff.
That's like the last thing that I wanted for this video game.
Which is a shame because people love the first one.
Yeah. Yeah. And then we also got 2 Point Campus is getting a wizardry course. So they showed a little like teaser of like the little wizards doing their wizard stuff. I really like 2 Point Hospital. I'm really hoping 2 Point Campus is good. So
You're a wizard, Jeff.
If I was a wizard, I'd be able to fucking time turn my way back to the beginning of this podcast and have the 2 hours back to go do other stuff with.
That's true.
Play Elden Ring. We also had a very brief leak of some Skate 4 footage where apparently this got leaked and then EA like DMCA'd the fuck out of it, which just made everybody spread it around.
Because at that point they know it's real.
Right. It's obviously super alpha footage.
Yeah, it's like even some stuff says pre-alpha build.
Yeah,
They're clearly trying to get the
motion
hang of whatever's going on.
Yeah.
And it's clear that they're doing a good job so far.
Yeah, it looks like the actual like part where you're on a skateboard looks pretty fun.
I hope they get Jason Lee to do this tutorial again.
From Mallrats?
Yeah, because he was a professional skateboarder before he was an actor.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And he retired from skateboarding at like just to do acting.
Yeah.
And then he became Mallrats was like the first big movie he ever did.
Huh.
Right
okay.
after that. So he was the tutorial guy for the skate games because he's still a big deal to the skateboarders.
All right. Splatoon 3 is got a release date, September 9th.
Ooh.
So
that's nice.
Yep.
Splatoon.
A lot of stuff getting into Septembers these days. I think 2 Point Hospital's in September as well.
That's true. It seems to be the start of the fall time frame lately.
The big fall rush. But you know what, man? Like I got to tell you, May is finally slowing down. This year, January, February, March, and April were all fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like there was a
really
lot of games all month, every month. Like we did not have that many, like, I don't know, let's play a Sega Genesis game or some bullshit.
Yeah.
Like we had a little bit of bullshit, you know.
And even then, it wasn't all that bullshitty.
It wasn't even all that bullshitty. Michael and I played Car Detailing Simulator. Chris and I played Weed Simulator. Like, you know, Weed Shop. We're doing the good stuff, you know.
Amazing enough, Postal 4 was the bullshit one.
Yeah, Postal 4 was the worst one. Let's see. We also got Epic Games, unfortunately, put the PC release of Uncharted, the Uncharted Legacy of Thieves on a blog post.
Oh, my God.
They
really?
accidentally posted a blog post that had that listed as in June as a release date.
Dumb bastards.
Yeah.
But now people can be excited.
I mean, you know, it would have been nice. I wonder, is that when is the movie already out on like Blu-ray or whatever?
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay. Or
But
streaming
it was in
or whatever.
Fortnite.
Okay.
Or they put the characters in Fortnite.
Yeah. Let's see.
Which was kind of funny because you could use a Nathan Drake on Xbox, but it was only the Tom Holland version.
Oh, that's true. Baldur's Gate 3 was announced that it will be officially leaving early access and going to 1.0 next year.
Oh, badass.
So not this year, but yes, next year.
People are having fun with a version of it now currently.
Yeah. I've been really waiting because I really like Divinity Original Sin 2, and I now have a computer that can actually play Baldur's Gate 3 without chugging, but I kind of want to wait for them to be done.
It's a good move. That's a good move.
So
yeah.
Guess what else is coming to 2023? Got moved to 2023. You know the answer to this.
Shit, I do too. It's the worst part. Not Ghostbusters.
It's a me, Mario.
The Super Mario Brothers movie. That's right.
Yep.
I was about to say Garfield.
Yep. Super Mario Brothers, the animated Super Mario Brothers movie with the good old Chris Pratt, got moved to 2023. Apparently, this is just like a thing that the animators need, and I'm like, go.
I'm all for it. Although people are being crazy at Chris Pratt currently, but yeah, that's the internet. They turn on Chris Pratt every other month nowadays.
I feel like people are continuously surprised when they find out like what Chris Pratt is like when he's not in a movie.
Yeah,
and then they're like, "Yeah, guys, we already knew that already." Like,
we've known that he's a religious guy.
He's a churchy guy, man.
Yeah, he goes to church. He loves his religion.
Yep.
And they're like, but he goes to a specific church that does like he just likes church. Okay.
Yep.
I'm not gonna say leave the man alone, but like you can question his faith, but you don't have to try to get him fired every 20 minutes.
Well, it's more the thing where it's like, yeah, man, we already knew this.
Yeah, we also already knew this.
Like I've done this shit for years.
He's been like this for what, 3-4 years?
Yep.
And even then, probably longer. Just nobody noticed.
Just nobody because
they were
anything.
They were so like, look at that wacky guy. And meanwhile, he's just going to church all the time. So
yep. All right, some fun stuff. We got Blockquake.
Oh my god.
Which is obviously just fucking Legos. There is this is kind of an interesting little mod that came out this week that it doesn't remaster like everything, but it does remaster all the enemies so that they're like little Lego guys instead of like Quake guys.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Looks really good. It also looks pretty good because I think this is running with like Quake with like ray tracing or whatever turned on. Maybe
it does
slightly.
actually look like that.
It's definitely got some nice lighting effects on it. So
it looks really cool, actually.
let's see another throwback news. We got another one of these custom GBA D-makes, but this
I heard
time
about
it's
this one,
fucking
actually.
Elden Ring.
Yeah, they made it like Link's Awakening.
Link's Awakening, yeah. There's not a lot to it yet. It's like the opening area, so it's
Yeah.
like coming out of the church and then going to the grafted scion, which looks like a silly kind of like a little Pokemon or something.
Yeah.
Like
And the way its sword comes out, it's kind of funny.
yeah. I don't like the way they did the roll. I don't like the way they've decided to do the roll, where they just took the sprite and rotated it 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees, 90 degrees.
Yeah, that's like a really weird thing to do. Because there's an actual roll in some of the Zelda games, so they could have just used that.
Yeah.
That animation. At least I thought there was one.
So yeah, you can check that out. This is actually, I believe this person's doing like streams where they're Shintendo, where they're actually like developing this like live, I believe is what that said. Oh, Michael, you got to start watching YMFAH videos.
What do they do?
They're a person that breaks RPGs, and now you have the proper context to know how. So now you know how Elden Ring works. So now you can appreciate, like when they show the montage of attacking people with like incredibly broken shit.
Holy shit!
Elden Ring.
Fucking Bo's just like annihilating people.
Yep. So. Yeah, get on that YMFH.
I feel like I need to make a build like that one of these days.
Speaking of Elden Ring, oh well, that one cheats.
Oh, it's a cheat one.
It cheats.
Oh, yeah.
It literally takes the upgraded cannon and then like through a glitches the damage output from the cannon onto the bow.
Oh my god!
So you can shoot the bow as fast as the bow can shoot, but it does the damage
of
that the cannon does. So,
that's amazing.
Yeah. I got another one, which this is from Kota Studios. They have a Patreon apparently, where they're making an Elden Ring Berserk like mod.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
So they're actually trying to get like the sword is obviously in there already, but they're trying to kind of like get the guts armor and like some of the move sets and some of the way that things look with like the eyes and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks okay. Looks pretty good.
People are big fans of Berserk's aesthetic.
Yeah.
And it lends itself well to the worlds of these games.
It's kind of weird because it's like, well, I really wish that if they did that they would have modded like Millennia that they have in this footage to look like the other guy, the gold-haired guy, right? Like,
probably don't want to put too much work into that part.
Yeah, it's true. So that's going on. That one's all right. But I saved the best for last, Michael. Oh no, wait, hold on. Next to last.
Okay.
I got a lot of Elden Ring. I love fun Elden Ring. This is another one where a guy was live streaming apparently, and he went into he invaded somebody's game, and what he found when he invaded somebody's game was somebody dressed as Jesus and somebody dressed as Satan.
Oh my god!
And like the Satan is like a red Satan wearing like the filthy robes, and the Jesus is like wearing the patches robes. And so like the Jesus and the Satan walk up. The Jesus is obviously like the Satan is obviously an invader, and then like the guy like there's a whole commentary going on here where you're like. He like prostrates himself at Jesus's feet, and then like him and Jesus fucking like blast down on Satan, and then he gets his win. But like, because there's already I've seen the Jesus build before.
Yeah, Jesus builds.
Yeah, and they're pretty good because he's using like healing miracles, and meanwhile Satan he looks like Hellboy kind of.
It's kind of amazing.
And then like it's kind of funny because Satan doesn't actually do anything, but then the fucking guy that invaded just starts fucking kicking the shit out of him.
Then Jesus turns on Satan.
Yeah, then Jesus turns on him as well. So he like it comes into this, and they're just waiting for somebody to invade, and then after they invade, they like let you decide what you want to do.
And so you basically co-op either Jesus or Satan.
Right.
That's amazing.
That's pretty cool.
I love when people do stupid shit like this. It's so fucking funny.
Yep. It's pretty good. At the end of it, Satan tries to do Millennia's rot, and then he blocks it with the black flame ring and kills Satan. It's pretty funny.
Oh my god!
So, but Michael,
you
the
got
best.
quite a few words out of that too.
The best is for last, and the best is called Elden Ring Zerg Rush.
Wait, what?
This was made by Games from Mars, and basically they took the mimic tier, right? You know what the mimic tier is, and they modded it so that instead of 1 mimic tier, it's 20 mimic tiers.
Oh my god!
And so they start by kicking the shit out of Vere with 20 naked mimic tiers that are all just like, they're not doing very much damage.
It's just he can't get out.
But he just can't get away from them. And so there's 20 of them. Like, they don't even animate correctly because there's too many of them.
It's kind of amazing to look at.
And so then he goes from there and basically like tries to do the tree sentinel, and the tree sentinel keeps fucking killing all of his guys. And so he equips the club. And then he summons 20 guys. And the great thing is, if you watch this video with audio, they all do the shout of the club before they go in there. So it's like, and then they just fucking like bum rush the tree sentinel with like all these fucking mimic tiers.
Oh my god.
Just like beating the crap out of the old tree sentinel. And then he kind of goes through a lot of the game.
Just with these guys bum rushing everybody.
Just like he doesn't do any of the fighting. There's actually a whole bunch of times where his computer crashes because there's too many people on screen at the same time.
Fair, yeah.
Elden Ring was not meant for this many characters to be on screen at the same time.
Because even the animations of the other characters are fucking up.
Yep, that was a crash. They show him fighting like Margit and Godric, and Margit almost gets him, and then he actually starts doing some upgrades on the club. He doesn't give them armor or anything, but he just gives them more damage on the club. But it's kind of incredible. I've never actually seen a Souls game where this many people fought at the same time. Like,
yeah. Because it's not designed that way.
It's not. It's 100% not. But you know what? Like,
but that's what'll happen.
Good job, everybody.
Holy shit.
Good job, Elden Ring community, for doing stupid shit. Because
just beating the shit out of that guy.
It's just like Godric is doing his little swoop attacks, and then just fucking 20 mimic tiers are all eating the flames and just jump attacking.
Seeing them all get up too is kind of horrifying.
You gotta hear it with audio, man, because they're all doing the shout the entire time, like to power up their shit. There's one part where he does he unleashes them on Patches. Poor fucking Patches.
Oh my god.
Like, and they just fucking kick I never knew, but like apparently when Patches goes to like surrender, you have to re-engage or else your summons won't do any damage to him. And apparently he has like he gives you a lot of chances to stop killing him. And then if you kill him, I don't know if you know this, but if you kill Patches, his last words are like, "What a shit show."
Seriously?
Like, that's what he says.
That's amazing.
Like they show it here when they finally kill him, where he says, "Well, it's bound to happen someday." And it says, "What a shit show," and then he dies. Like,
that's kind of sad.
That's how Patches dies if you decide to kill Patches. But
I still haven't found Patches again. I keep trying to find him, and I don't know where he is.
They've got the scene with the fucking Raya Lucaria.
They just beat up all of the fucking guys.
They go through they go through a lot of these, and they even have them going after Millennia, and like she's getting her health back really fast because there's so many of them she's hitting at the same time.
Yeah,
but
they're also taking her health away.
Keep
real
like
fast,
mashing her.
Oh my god, she's stuck in a fucking animation.
Millennia has low poise. Like she can get stun locked really easily.
Oh my god!
And there's like 20 mimic tiers beating her down with fucking. It looks like he switched over to the Cestus, the fist weapons. So,
okay, so that the way they were all just naked people punching things to death.
Oh my god, they're all getting rotted right now. That's if you stand near her when she does that, you get rot.
Then they just punched her to death.
Then they just punched her to death. So yeah, go check stuff out. Whew. And that's the podcast.
That's amazing.
Thanks everybody for listening. Michael, tell them where they can find you.
You can find me on oneofus.net. We do a lot of movies and television reviews. We recently had a review for Russian Doll Season 2 as well as The Northman.
Cool. Yeah. And you already know where to find us because there wouldn't be any way that you would be listening to this podcast and not know where it came from. So thanks. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you want to go to Patreon. Maybe you want to go to Patreon. Maybe you don't. If you want to go to Patreon, you go to patreon.com/RageSelect. And if you don't, well, do whatever you want. I don't give a shit. This is a free internet. I don't care. I'm not looking over your shoulder. I'm not going to summon 20 Jeff Mimic tiers into your house to beat the shit out of you. I mean, I mean, I might, but you won't know until it's too late. So
And they'll all have buckets.
yeah, just buckets. Gonna hit you with that bucket. Nobody gets that reference, Michael.